Hey guys, once again, welcome back to Big Pat Sports Talk. It's Big Pat. You know I'm gonna talk my talk what anybody thought. Got a special guest today, Joel, on here. He popped up, man. Glad he's showing support, man. He took a break from fishing to come in and talk with Big Pat Sports Talk. How you doing today, Joel?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to see the Giants community coming together as a whole now.
Right. But man, we're gonna talk about a few things. We were just chatting it up before the stream, and you explaining what you was just explaining to me about how we weren't coming together really before this past off season, the last off season when we got Joe Judge. People forget about people like Ernie Accorsi who took over a bad team in the late '90s and turned us into pretty much a decent team in the early 2000s. Let them know about that, man. Tell us some history.
Well, I've been following the Giants in the '80s, and I watched George Young go through what Dave Gettleman's going through. I mean, he had 4 years where his coach wasn't exactly what the team needed. They didn't have the draft picks that they needed playing. Like I said earlier, we don't have any first or second rounders on the team really from 2012 to 2017. So when you don't have that veteran leadership from those draft picks on this team, that really affects, what you can do moving forward. So and then we won a Super Bowl in the '90s, and of course he took over, and then we had a few bad years, and then they started figuring out we got to go back into the draft and get these guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't really have a quarterback. Dave Brown was our quarterback at the time. We had a couple other guys that would come in, and they just didn't do it. So he got Kerry Collins. He was in Carolina, first round draft pick out of Penn State, I believe, and
Yeah, it was Penn State.
he built a defense around that team. And Jesse Armstead was on that team, I believe. We had a really Strahan was on that team. We,
Mm-hmm.
we had some really good defensive players on that team. However, the Ravens just showed all the weaknesses. Hey, Jay,
What's
Jay
going
can
on, Jay
testify to
Berman?
this. Jay can testify to this too because he watched that team in the '90s and what of course he did to get us to the Super Bowl. I mean, Fossil Fossil was a technical coach. Um, but I liked his coaching style, but he didn't seem like that killer instinct, if that's what you want to call it. He was more a player's coach than he was a technically sound coach. uh, we did. I mean, we had Tiki Barber, and I can remember there was a conflict between Kerry Collins and Tiki Barber, and that's really when all that started to develop, and
Mm-hmm.
it carried on into Eli era, and then you know then we had Eli for a while, and then Coughlin came in, and then Accorsi had built this team up already. So we had the defense. Coughlin came in. His first year wasn't that great. Second year, this was Eli's learning curve.
I think we
And
made the playoffs Eli's second year and got blasted by the Vikings, if I remember.
yeah,
Or
but
it was the Vikings or the Panthers. I think we got beat by both of them before we won our Super Bowl.
right. But I mean, look at all the learning that he had. But Coughlin was that disciplinarian, which is what Joe Judge is. And if you look at Daniel Jones, he's had basically the same couple of years that Eli had his first years. It's those
Mm-hmm.
growing pains. I mean, you know, we have to take into consideration. Yeah, he went to Duke. He didn't have star players, but when Jones third and fourth year, he won a bowl game. He
Yep.
who at Duke wins football bowl games? Well, he did it for 2 years.
Right.
The kid is smart. He's not somebody that we're hearing problems coming out of the locker room. He's in there 14, 15 hours a day studying film. He's working on getting his weight up. He's working on his release, his arm, his timing. Now he's got a whole new team again. Because he's going to be throwing to Galladay, and he's going to be throwing to Ross, and Now he's got who's the other tight end we picked up? I cannot.
Oh, Rudolph.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph. So now he's got to get that timing down. But he's coming in under the same system.
Yeah,
I mean, when you start getting that regularity, that's what happened with Young. Sims got regularity. That's what happened with Collins. He got regularity.
mm-hmm.
Eli got regularity. And it all just started to develop and click. And the coaches took over. And, the rest is history. We have a helmet catch, we have a sideline pass, and a couple of rings thanks to old Mr. Eli Manning. But
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna welcome Zeke to the chat. What's going on, Zeke? Well, he'll pop
What's
in, but
good, guys?
what's going on, Zeke? But the similarities, Joe, are eerily similar to what we did with Eli. As you
yeah,
know, Kurt Warner was here when Eli got here, and he eventually
mhm,
took over for Kurt Warner that season. Same thing. Daniel Jones got here. Eli was the veteran this time, and
yep,
now Daniel Jones is taking over. I believe Eli's third year when we got Plaxico. Now Daniel Jones' third year, we get Galladay.
yep,
We had a great running back in Tiki Barber. Unfortunately, he talked his noise and retired before we won the Super Bowl, but now we got Saquon Barkley.
yep,
We had Amani Toomer on the other side. Hey, if Slayton can put it together, he can be our Amani Toomer, except with speed. And then
yep,
we always had a good slot receiver. With the first Super Bowl, we had Steve Smith. Not the Steve Smith from the Panthers, but our Steve Smith. The second Super
Mm-hmm.
Bowl, we had Victor Cruz, who was
My guy
mainly
Victor
working the
Cruz.
slot.
yes,
And
yes,
so
Not just
now
the
we
slot, he
got
was a good
Sterling.
outrunner too.
Yeah, now we got a Sterling Shepard, who's a similar type player. He's not as explosive as Victor Cruz was, but he's a similar type player. And guess what? Both those Super Bowl teams, we had great defenses.
I was just
For
going
This
to
real.
say
defense
that.
can be this
Yeah.
defense can be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
So there's a method to this madness of what they're doing. I believe they're pushing it now. I believe. Let me tell you something. I
Mm-hmm.
believe Mara put the pressure of Dave Gettleman to win this year. I believe he put the pressure on him to win this year, and that's why I believe they
Who?
went out and did that. The
who?
ownership, the
Oh yeah,
Mayor
the
and Tish.
ownership. You had to,
I
yeah.
believe Mayor and Tish
Yeah.
put precedence on winning on Dave Gettleman this
That's
year
why
and
that's what I
between
said
next year.
last week. I guess that our owner told him that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
believe you. Yeah, I believe that.
I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you right now, Judge and Gettleman got together and said, "Look, we've got a pretty good base. Let's add a few pieces and spend next year's money."
And I
And
bet
let's
you Joe Judge
Mhm.
said that too. Yeah.
I'll bet you
Mm-hmm.
it was Judge because Judge doesn't want to. Judge does not like losing.
Does
Yeah,
not
he's
like
not a
losing.
loser. He's been a winner everywhere
He
he's
came from
been.
Bill Belichick's um
Yep.
coaching, you know?
I believe he has 2 Super Bowls and I believe he has 3 national championships. I believe
Yeah.
he was
Yep.
with dang, I forgot his name that
Alabama.
fast. With Alabama. He was with Nick Saban, I
Alabama.
believe, in Alabama when he won about 3
Yep.
championships and he
Yep.
won 2
Mm-hmm.
championships with Belichick. So he's not a loser.
Right.
You're definitely right about that, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Here.
this organization believed they wanted to win now, and we have the right coach. I believe he comes from a great coaching tree, and with players like
For
this,
real.
he won't let them lose luster for the game. See, with a
Nope.
coach like Ben McAdoo, when he had that team in 2016, it was McAdoo. That 2016 team, I believe to this day, could have won a Super Bowl because the way Eli Manning was
Yeah.
playing,
Mm-hmm.
he was throwing dimes and he was playing like playoff Eli. If
Yep.
they had structure, because I believe they was doing that themselves. I believe they was motivating themselves that year. Because
Yep.
McAdoo doesn't strike me as a guy that can motivate anybody or hold anybody accountable for anything.
Yep.
With a coach like this and talent like this on his team, with the accountability he brings, is going to bring them closer together. And they're already a tightly knit team. That's why people like Leo Williams wanted to come back and play for Joe Judge. People like our safety, he wanted to play with Joe Judge once again.
Well,
It's because they love the accountability. I believe we have the right people here to get the things done this year. I do
well,
believe we can make the playoffs. and I believe we're a couple of pieces away from making a real strong push.
When we haven't made the playoffs, it's really 2016, and before that was 2012. And guys are coming here and signing because they want to play for Judge, and we really have not been a winning team. That says it all.
That says a lot. That
When
says
Yeah,
they're
a lot.
sitting in that
for
interview
real.
room and Joe Judge is saying, "This is what I want to do. I want you to be a part of this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you, where the bear lives in the woods. This is how." And they say, "I signed here because of him." That tell
Mhm.
that should be bringing fans enthusiasm,
Exactly.
That's telling you
excitement.
that you got the right
And I
guy in the
be
building.
Yes.
and you be hearing it, and players when they tell them why you want to come to New York because of Joe Judge and their coaching. Feel me?
Yeah. Let me
Yep.
get to this question. Jay Berman says more young QB struggle for a year or two than do well immediately. If the G Man hadn't been a non-contender as long as we have, there may have been more willingness among fans to be patient with DJ. That's true, man. You got to be patient with the guy.
Yeah, same
I
here.
do want him to get his pocket presence up. That's the only issue I have with Daniel Jones, because if he gets his pocket presence up, he has enough athleticism to get out that pocket and make things happen.
But he has good ball placement.
Once he brings that to his game, study people like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning,
Mhm.
Tom Brady, how they move within that pocket and make things happen, make more time for himself. I believe DJ can be very effective in his league. And let's not forget, the man has feet. Now he doesn't
He
have juke
does.
ability, but his straight line speed is bar none. Like that dude, I didn't know that dude was that fast. Like running straight
He
I
got
lines. That's
know.
faster
crazy.
too. I think he worked on his speed this year because last year he wasn't running like that. To be
Now,
honest.
Well,
last year he got bigger and stronger and faster. And this year
Yeah.
we need him to get a tad bit smarter when it comes to that pocket presence,
Yeah.
because our offensive line could be a lot better as well with him having great pocket presence like
If
that.
we draft
I
a lineman, yeah.
well, number one, DJ is going to be a top 10 quarterback.
He is. He is. I
I'm
agree
I'm
with you.
I'm going
Hmm.
to give Pat a hot take. I've been saying it for a while. Number two, the Giants are going to go 12-5.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
same here. You
what
could
I
go with
said
that.
in Hub Stream, and I'd like to get your guys' opinion. I told Hub, this is Joe Judge's. He
Why?
spent the money.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the players. There is not one key position that we really, really need to draft. Everything else has been Shermer's guys, McAdoo's guys, or it was Coughlin's guys. Now it's Judge's guys. He had his
Yeah.
draft last year and he got in some guys he wanted. This year, they had the cap. They got the guys that Judge wanted. A
Yeah. You're
GM
right.
doesn't really just go and get who he wants because he's not coaching the team. He talks to his coach. What do you want? Who do you see? I'll try to bring it in. We'll try to sign it. That's
Shout out
what
to John
Gettleman
Doe
does.
230.
So now,
Hmm.
Judge, any way he wants, we can go lineman. I'll be happy. We can
I'll be
go edge
happy.
rusher. We could go Rousseau. I'm going to be happy because if we get Rousseau, that means Graham wants him. If Patrick Graham wants him, I believe in Graham. As
Yeah.
I do believe if we pick Rousseau, that would be a ground pick because he's a developmental pick and he plays that defensive line, and that's what Patrick Graham specializes in, defensive line.
if people want
What
Phillips,
if we get Kyle Pitts at 11? We have to release
he's
two. We have to release Evan Ingram and Caden Smith.
I don't
he's
think we
not.
go Kyle Pitts.
No,
I don't
Yeah,
think we go Kyle Pitts. Even if
because
he's
Joe
there, I
Judge
don't think
likes.
we go.
Yeah,
But
Joe Judge
let
likes him
Joe
pretty
finish his
much.
statement. Let Joe finish his statement.
so
Yeah.
when with Judge going into this draft right now, this is going to be his shining moment. These are the guys that are going to be playing in 2 to 3 years when these contracts are up from the guys that we just signed. These are the replacements. This is the team that we're going to see. So watch what Judge does in this draft
Hmm.
because if we do go line and that fixes the O line problems, I definitely have confidence in DJ. I
For real.
really think he can do it. But everyone says that he needs to read the defense better. The question I have for you guys is when everyone's running a 7-yard curl route, how is a guy supposed to read the defense?
Thank you.
Cool, cool. What's going on, JD? Thank you for tuning in. You guys pull up if you want to. I'll put the link back in the chat. But to go off what Joel said is absolutely correct. I don't think Daniel Jones' problem is reading the defense at all. I believe he's actually great at reading the defense. I believe his problem was he tried to make the big play when it wasn't there. He's used to playing with no talent around him, and he's used to doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the same type of talent that he had around him his first couple of years in New York. Let's just call it what it is. And he was doing the same thing that he had to do at Duke. You see, he was leading us in rushing, passing, touchdowns, everything. Now, this year is going to see exactly what Daniel Jones is and what exactly he has to work on, because it's going to be clear, because he has the pieces. He has the coaching staff around him, and he has the talent. I don't think he ever had a problem reading defense. I think he reads defenses pretty doggone well. What he doesn't do is his pocket presence. He sits there so long because he wants to make the play so bad that he doesn't check down. If he adds the check down to his game, a lot of our drives will keep going, because there's no way you're going to stop him from running for a first down if it's 3rd and 3, or Saquon Barkley running for a first down if it's 3rd and 3, or if he hit him over the middle with Rudolph running a quick route, or even if Evan Ingram's out there on a linebacker, that's a total mismatch. Kenny Galladay is a mismatch. You got Sterling Shepard in the slot. You got Slayton as a burner on the other side, or they decide to put John Ross out there to open up the whole field and let him run a street route running with that 4.22 speed. If Daniel Jones adds the check down to his game, because you know when Saquon Barkley's your check down, that's a hell of a check down. So he can take that 2 to 3 yard pass and get you a first down 15 yards, or may take it to the house depending on how the blocking is.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
If he adds that to his game and not stand there and think he has to make a big play. And I think another thing that's going to make it easier on him, he has a receiver that can get open.
Yeah.
He has receivers that can get open now.
Yeah, because they're going to be double teaming.
Adding Kenny Galladay opens up the whole field for you. Now, when they are double teaming Kenny Galladay, they can't double team Slayton and Rudolph and Ingram and Shepard and Saquon Barkley. We have so many different outlets on the offense. It's crazy. That's why I keep telling people that I believe Daniel Jones could throw for 4,000 yards this year. I really do believe so.
He could. He really could. Because let me tell you this. When they double team Kenny Galladay, John Ross will be open because he runs a 4.2, right? Kyle Rudolph could probably be open. We have Saquon in the red zone, so we're still going to be good no matter what.
Yeah, John Doe says Barkley had 125 targets with Eli, 85 Jones rookie year, because, yes, that's the check down. That's all we really had. We didn't have any receivers that can get open. That's why they had so many targets. People kill Eli because they call him Mr. Checkdown. What else did you want him to do? He had no time.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the reason he threw at 125 targets is the blitz was coming so fast, the line was collapsing, and Eli had that experience. He knew what was happening. So it's like Barkley, I'll eat that all day. 3-4 yards, 3-4 yards.
Daniel Jones is exactly what Eli Manning would have looked like if he held on the ball like Daniel Jones did, because he didn't check down.
Right.
That's why Eli is so smart. That's one of the smartest quarterbacks
of all time
that's ever played the game. I don't care what anybody say. That's why he looked like that, because he made the right play almost every time. If you're getting blitzed and you only got 1.2 seconds to get rid of the ball, I'm going to check it down to my running back and hope he makes a play, because that's all we have. When he got a chance to throw that ball deep with Ben McAdoo, look at the stats that he put up with Ben McAdoo. He put up 35 touchdowns that year with a terrible offensive line, but McAdoo's system made it where you get the ball out super quick.
Right.
And when people caught on to that, he couldn't do anything else but check it down. When they caught on that we was running quick slants all day, people caught on to that.
Right. I got a question.
Thing is film.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I got a question for both of y'all. I think I told you this, Pat. But do you think by this season, right, Joe Judge will be the next? What's his coach? What's his name? With that brought Eli Manning to the Super Bowl twice.
Coughlin.
Roughly.
You think he could be the next Coffin, whatever his name is?
I believe he could be the next Giants coach that gets us 2 Super Bowl rings, like Bill
Yeah.
I,
Parcells did, like
Mm-hmm.
Coughlin did. I think he could do the exact same thing. We're building the teams the exact same way we did. We're getting back. Look, people,
We getting
we're
back
getting
like
back to
2016.
New York Giants football.
yep.
We're
We
getting
is
exactly what we're used to. Hard nosed, hard working individuals going
and
out
good
there just
defense
to get the job done with a great defense.
with a great defense, man. Yep.
If what Patrick Graham is doing with these defensive pieces is downright amazing. I'm glad they re-signed him because he deserves a head coaching job. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, he
But
does.
we re-signed him to be our defensive coordinator. I believe we're going to get him some more pieces during this draft. I truly believe so. That first pick is either going to be that first pick or that second pick. We're going to draft him another playmaker on defense. So don't be surprised if we get Michael Parsons or Jason Orway in the second round. We may go Michael Parsons in the first round, but I believe that defensive end from Penn State is in play in the second round. Jason Orway, look him up. He ran a 4.36 in his 40, but that's not what I'm excited about. His first step is amazing when he's coming off that line at Penn State, and he hasn't had the coaching of using his hands to get the defensive lineman off of him. With Patrick Graham, he's going to coach that guy up, and I think that guy's going to be a force within the next 2 years. If we draft him in the second round, we keep Patrick Graham because he's going to teach him how to rush the passer. He's winning all straight athletic ability, just like how Pierre Paul did, just like how Kiwanuka did when he first came. And we had teachers, and they taught them how to pass rush. And now look at Pierre Paul. He's a 2-time Super Bowl winner. He just won one with the Buccaneers, one of the main pieces on that defensive line. Kiwanuka was good for us for years. Justin Tuck, same thing. He was great for us.
Oh, yeah, Justin Tuck, man. He's a beast.
OCU Manure, same thing. He came out of small school, winning off pure athleticism. They taught him how to use his hands, and he got to that quarterback. Remember, this is the same guy, OC, that got 6 sacks against the Eagles in one game. I remember that game like the back of my hand. So I think we're doing the same exact thing. To your question, Z, I do believe he could be that third coach that wins us 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
I do believe so.
Same here. His discipline is just he's just the right coach for the Giants. He is. He's that coach for the Giants that's gonna take us to the Super Bowl.
Let me get to a couple of questions, and I'm gonna let Joe chime in. Jay Berman says the key is the O-line. Lemieux and Pert haven't proven it yet. Soder is a swing tackle you don't want starting. I hope Slater is there at 11. I wouldn't be mad at Slater at 11, Jay. And you're exactly right. Mad. If Lemieux and Pert step up, we got a hell of a team, people.
I think Pert will step up.
We're a complete team. If Lemieux and Pert play well, we're a complete team.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe 230. He says we don't need a Coughlin. We just need a competent leader. A Coughlin would be nice, though. We have a competent leader, Joe.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Parcells was a competent leader his first year, but he was just too nice of a guy. He didn't have the discipline. He wasn't looking at the little things. John should be old enough to. I don't know. He might be able to remember him or not, but I do. And his first year, he just went there. He was a coach, and he tried to be a player's coach. And he realized his first year it did work, and he almost left for Alabama, I believe it was. So the second year, he says, okay, I'm going to start cracking the whip on these guys, and I'm going to make discipline. They're going to be on time. And he started doing that, and he started riding those guys. And that's when Giants football turned 180 degrees. So I agree to a point, but I feel, especially with the guys that are coming out now saying, I came to Joe Judge, he's going to coach me, and he's a disciplinarian. I know he's not going to treat another player different than me. If one person deserves a butt chewing, they're all going to get a butt chewing. Yep. And I think that's the difference, and that's what more players today are looking for. Because if you look like Saban in Alabama, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. but yet he gets one of the top recruiting classes every year.
Mhm.
So these kids, these guys want to be coached and they don't want anybody treated differently. And I think that's what McAdoo did. And I think that's what Shermer did. And I think
Yep.
that's what divided the locker room.
Yep. Now Pat Shermer, to his credit, was probably the best offensive coordinator for Daniel Jones. I will give him that. He rolled
Yeah.
Daniel Jones out, and he Daniel Jones played his best year with Pat Shermer, but Pat Shermer was not a head coach, and that's
Mhm.
why they failed. Everybody quit when things got tough. People like the cornerback we had, he's the main one. Janoris Jenkins,
Oh
good player,
yeah,
good
he
player when he's
was.
on a team that he believes in, but they didn't believe in Pat Sherman. And guess what? They quit on him. You can see
Right.
it when we getting blew out 45-10 and stuff like that. Heck no, those players quit
Right.
because they didn't have a coach that was stern enough to be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? You don't
I
quit out
love
there on this field. You give
Janoris
it your
Jenkins.
all, no matter how the game is going.
Right.
And there was no accountability on either one of those teams. There was no accountability. The 2016 team, that was accountability because the players wanted accountability amongst each other. But the next year, when things didn't start off correctly, guess what? They all quit.
Right.
Same thing with Pat Sherman. You can't be soft voiced with grown men. When grown men, it's rarely when you get a bunch of grown men that come together themselves despite their head coach. That's rarely, because your head coach is supposed to be a leader of men. He's supposed to command the locker room. He's supposed to command his team. And that's what we didn't have that. We did not have that. There was no chemistry with those teams, and nobody cared. Everybody knew that they was just going out there to play. I'm gonna get mine, and whatever happens, happens. That's not like that with Joe Judge. It's not like
Right.
that with Patrick Graham. You go out there, we got a game plan. You execute that game plan to a T. If you don't do your job, you won't play. I'll put in
Right.
a Carter Coughlin that goes in there and wants to do his job. I'll put in a Tay Crowder in there if you don't want to do your job. I'll put in a Yadam who played particularly well towards the end of the year,
Yeah.
even though he's not a number two corner. I'll put in a Yadam. You see how fast Lewis got benched after he kept getting burnt at the end of the damn Cowboys game and gave up the game. They
Yep.
benched him. You seen Andrew Thomas got benched when he came late for curfew. Joe Judge
For
doesn't
real.
play that. And guess what?
Yeah,
After that benching, didn't Andrew Thomas get better? Didn't he
he
get a lot
did.
better when he seen Pert getting some of his snaps at left tackle?
Right.
When he came back in, Andrew Thomas played very well when he came back in.
Yeah, but he was also on one leg.
That's true
Thank
too.
you.
That's
Yes,
true
and I
too.
believe that. Yeah, because remember he had an injury and he had what? Did he had to do surgery or something like that? Right?
Yeah, he had foot surgery on his left foot.
But
Yeah.
Stick foot.
but
Mm-hmm.
To Joe Judge, he played better on that one leg later down the season, didn't he? Because he
He
was horrible in the beginning of the season.
right.
But
Well,
after
he
that
was a
bench, after
rookie
Joe
too.
Judge and that offensive line coaching change, because Colombo was a part of the team.
Yep.
Right.
And
And next
Colombo
year he's
came in
gonna
there
get
and said
better.
he wanted to do his own thing. And Joe Judge was like, no, I can help you with him. And Colombo told him, no, I don't want your help. Well, we don't want you here. That wasn't a popular decision, but Joe Judge made that decision because he's a leader. He knows what he wants, and he's going to get what he wants.
Right. Oh, Jade made it. Quincy Cash is in here too. Hey guys.
What's up, Cash? What's
Oh,
going on,
Quincy
bro? Hope your
Cash.
workout went well. How's your ankle doing?
Uh,
John Doe says Garrett
Yeah.
played a conservative style, but long term that could be good. Jones went 24 TDs to 12, but 14 interceptions to 11 and 21 fumbles to 11. I don't know how much that change was Garrett or Jones. I think most of it was Jones, and then some of it was because of the system didn't allow Jones to stand back there as long as he was the previous year. But I will say this: he has to add some rollouts to get Jones' athletic ability on that field. A lot more RP. You know how great the RPO is going to be this coming year with Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones right there.
Yeah, but how many of those interceptions are on Ingram?
The year before the interceptions weren't on Ingram, but this past year,
Yeah, this year.
I believe Daniel Jones could have threw less than 5 interceptions this year if it wasn't for Ingram.
Well, I'd give 5 out of them for last year here on Ingram that I can count. Plus, there was a couple of fumbles. One that was on Ingram. The pitch was there. You know what? The pitch was there, just like the catch should have been there against Eagles. So I don't want it to sound like an excuse. To me, it's not an excuse. It's he put the ball in the place where the guy could at least have a good attempt. It wasn't like it was a 10% chance of catching it, or you know what I mean? It's a pitch. Keep your eye on the ball, catch the ball. And Ingram blows my mind. He'll make a one-hand catch. He'll be 5 yards out of bounds, but then it's in the middle of the open field or whatever,
And he
eh,
dropped it.
or tips it up in the air. One hands it.
One thing I'll always say, not only did Evan Ingram cause Daniel Jones turnovers, he calls drives, man. He calls points.
Yes.
Those drops cause points. We could at least got a field goal on that drive where he catches the damn ball, but he didn't.
And how
Another
many drives were killed because of the offensive lineman? Fleming, I know of 3 occasions, 3 drives that caused not to continue down the field because of a penalty.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
I'm sorry.
But another thing that's going to help out Daniel Jones this year, you're going to see his touchdowns go up tremendously, is because of the addition of Rudolph and Galladay.
Right.
In the red zone, when we get in the red zone, first and goal from the 8, first and goal from the 3, and we can't get that in, that's going to stop. That's going to stop because there's no way you're going to stop Galladay, Rudolph, Barkley, Shepard, Ingram, all those guys right now. There's no way you're going to stop that consistently. No, not like how it was last year.
Yeah.
I see a lot of fades going for touchdowns. I see a lot of balls going over the middle between two defenders because Rudolph can jump up and grab it before they can get position to knock the ball down or pick it off.
Right.
I do see a lot of that, a lot more of that coming this year.
Well, here's another stat for you. Jones was the 4th highest blitzed quarterback in the NFL, and he missed games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they knew we didn't have anybody to fear.
Right.
Did you? The Ravens game shows that completely. They ran cover 1 the whole game.
And I'm proud of Daniel Jones for that second half of the Ravens game. I loved how he played.
Yeah,
Right.
he played very well.
He showed a lot of heart that game.
Daniel Jones is a quarterback that gets the best at what he has. So I believe he's going to get the best of what he has, and he has a lot this year.
Yes.
So, like I said, don't be surprised if this guy throws for 4,000 yards this year. I'm telling you, Giants fans. You're thinking I'm crazy, but don't be surprised if he throws for 4,000 yards. I'm telling you. Only way he doesn't throw for 4,000 yards, I believe, is if Saquon Barkley, the running game, is just going absolutely nuts, and he gets around 1,500 to 1,700 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm. You know, you look at the work that we hear from Daniel does every offseason. Now, I don't hear about Mayfield. He's still doing progressive commercials, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't hear about 30 progressive.
I don't hear Kyler Murray doing workouts like what Daniel Jones is doing. I don't hear, about all these other young quarterbacks that are doing, added 15 pounds or, they're the first in the building. They're the last out of the building. And the minute they can get in there, they're in there working with staff and watching film and going through training sessions. And, Daniel Jones is putting the work in. You're not going to fail if you keep putting the work in.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Peyton and Eli did every year.
Yes. Yes. He learned from one of the greatest quarterback coaches in college football.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. He's not stupid. He's not going to just sit back there and go vacation in Aruba for 6 months and come back and play football for 6 months. He's always working on something.
Shout out to King Blue in the chat. He says, how good do you think we're going to be after the draft? King Blue, I'm going to get into that in a second. Jay Berman, shout out to Jay Berman. He says, if Ingram isn't traded and having signed Rudolph and brought back Toilolo, do you think we're good with 4 tight ends, including Smith, or is Smith gone? I say we go with 4 tight ends unless somebody comes in during training camp and really impresses, and it comes down to a roster spot, him and Smith. I believe they go with the other person because Smith is extra when it comes to the tight ends. But I do believe we're going to keep 4 tight ends.
If we draft Freiermuth in the second, Smith's gone.
Yeah, if we drop Fryman even a second, Smith and Ingram may be grown.
Right.
I'm
So
be honest with you.
that's the position to watch. Remember, I
Mm-hmm.
said early in the stream, this is Judge's draft. These are the guys we're going to be seeing in 2 to 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
full-time
Yep.
starters. This is the start of Judge's team. This is the
Mm-hmm.
most important draft he's ever going
Mm-hmm.
to have.
This is the most important
Right.
offseason he's gonna have, to be honest
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
John Doe says Jones legit bulked up. Hey, 21 fumbles to 11 is a real progression. Get that down to 6, and that's completely normal. And a lot of those fumbles is because, like I said, he was trying to make the play. He was trying to
Yes.
make the big play with a team that wasn't good around him. Same thing he did at Duke. Now that he has people around him, he's going to get that ball out faster. And I'm telling you, he reads the field very good.
He
Well,
does. He really do.
you can take away a few of those because the Pittsburgh game at the end of it, there was what, 12 seconds left and he fumbled?
The Eagles.
Okay, let's take that one away. I mean, that really doesn't count. I know it's a stat, but the Ingram one where he pitched it to Ingram and he fumbled, that's on Daniel too. We all hold
Exactly.
Ingram accountable about that. The one you just said, the Eagles. So, I mean, technically, John, like the Giants should have been 10-6 last year, we could look at that and say he only really had 9 or 8 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
He could have really went 10-6 last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Quincy Cash says, "Look, I will replace Ingram's spot, and I don't even play tight end. If I could play receiver and DB, I could play tight end." Real talk. Bulk up, you'll be a man. You know how vicious you'll be at tight end. Kyle Pitts #2.
Right.
Quincy, you would have been less detrimental. They wouldn't have targeted you 108 times like Evan. Hey, look, that's another thing to what Daniel Jones was going through. He had to throw to a man 108 times that was dropping the ball consistently.
Yeah.
Because he was the main target. Now Evan Ingram may be the fourth target now. He may be the fourth target.
How are you going to get confident in that? You're not.
How are you going to get confidence if you're throwing to a guy that you be like, man, I hope he catches it?
Yeah.
The whole time.
Right.
All year long, you're throwing to the guy that's saying, man, I hope he catches this ball. You throw to a guy that's wide open that can win the game for your team, brought you back against the Eagles, and he drops the ball. Do you know what that could do to your confidence as a quarterback?
Right.
You're throwing it to a guy that's wide open on 3rd and 5, and he drops the ball. Now you have to get off the field instead of going over into the 35-yard line, threatening to score. He drops the ball.
And I don't know how Boston Scott made that score.
You throw a ball to a guy that gets you 30 yards, but he goes up the field, fumbles the ball, and it turns into a bad play. That kills your confidence, the confidence of your quarterback. It's like that kills the confidence of the team.
And then the other team goes down on that drive and scores a touchdown.
Yeah. Do you know how much respect I got for Patrick Graham and that defense for last year?
Oh.
Do you know how much respect I got for those guys, man? Do you know how many times they had to watch Evan Ingram play? Somebody drops the ball on 3rd and 5 to keep the drive going, and now we got to get right back on the field not because they're doing such a great job on defense. We're killing ourselves.
Right.
You know how many times they had to watch to where they run to see the other defense run a cover 0 the whole game, and they have to watch this Daniel Jones struggle because nobody can get open on one-on-one coverage. They just get jammed up at the line. Do you know how much Sterling Shepard is going to break out? Because now he can really do what he really needs to be doing is tearing up the middle of the field in the slot, running option routes, dig routes, zig routes. Do you know when Saquon Barkley gets back how much that helps out Daniel Jones? If that man goes out there and run like how Wayne Gallman was running last year, do you know
be focusing on Saquon Barkley? Yeah.
Yeah. Jay Berman just put a good statement up right there. Yeah, read that one.
He said, Jay Berman says, DJ needs to learn when the best decision is dumping it off or throwing it away. When he takes off running, he needs to slide and not take big hits. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's how he got that injury against the Bengals.
But he's doing that because he wants to win. He wants the first down, like Pat just said. He's throwing to guys, they're dropping it. They're not continuing. He wants to win. And when you have that mentality, you're not going to slide because you have no faith in anybody else.
Right.
You're not going to throw it away because now He feels, man, I gotta make a play this drive because we're not gonna
Yes.
get too
And
many
that
opportunities.
was a playoff game that we had to win to go to playoffs. To be honest, because that was
He
one of the wild card games, basically.
shout out to Boss Nation Gaming, man. Thank you for tuning in, bro.
Yo,
But that's what Dan Jones' mindset was, man. Look, he was trying to make a play, the same thing that he did at Duke. If you look at the film at Duke and you look at the field his first 2 years with the New York Giants, it's the same exact thing. He's on the field and he's like, man, I have to make a play here because we are not a good offense and we're not going to get down here too many times.
Look at that Pittsburgh drive, week 1. How many times
Mhm.
did he run with the ball and get the first down?
Exactly.
But the
Right.
only thing anybody remembers is he threw an interception at the end. Needless to say, that was all him, that drive going down the field. But we can't give him kudos for that. We got to say, oh, he threw another pick. Oh my God, he sucks. Yada, yada, yada.
And think about this when you're in the red zone as a quarterback and you have 4 receivers on the field and not one of them can get you any separation to try to get the ball to them, and you have to stand there and literally take a sack or try to run yourself to try to do something, that's demoralizing.
Right.
But that
Yeah,
changes this year. That changes this year. I promise you it changes.
I really think DJ's going to start making smarter plays. And he's going to start building his confidence. He's going to start getting a repertoire with these receivers. Barkley's going to come back. Isn't Daniel like 4-1 when Barkley's in the game?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
You
only
know,
played with Barkley, what, 5 times or
yeah.
5 times, I believe. And
So,
that fifth game, Barkley only played half the game. So,
right.
and then the other games, he was injured. He was running on a bad ankle.
And
Yep.
he still had 1,000 and something yards.
The only game that he had him fully healthy was that Washington football team game.
Right.
I believe his rookie year, and where he threw 5 touchdowns.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now, you know how everyone is. There were a few Giants fans because Jaden just brought up John Ross and Shepard. I want to talk about Ross for a little bit.
Okay.
Joe Judge was the wide receivers coach in New
Right.
England.
Yep.
Right.
If if Joe Judge believes Ross has talent as somebody who coached that position, I already love what Joe Judge is doing. I'm going to trust him on this call too, giving him $2 million for or 2.5, whatever it is. He sees something. He wants to exploit it. 50-50 chance it works. But if it does work, he's a hero. If it doesn't work, he's not a zero because nobody's expecting anything from him.
And we're not paying him a lot.
These are
Exactly.
the moves that make Judge a genius. Big picture. That's what Judge is thinking. Big picture. I get him on the cheap. I make a player out of him. He goes somewhere else. I draft somebody to fill his hole. This
Exactly.
draft, you're going to look at the guys who are not going to be here next year, the 1 year contracts. Those are the positions that I see us drafting.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Maybe Slater at 1 because we do need an old lineman, but Judge might be thinking edge at first round because there's not that much talent there right now. And at 11, probably get away with just about anybody decent on the board. I know people don't want to hear that. I don't want him. Oh, he's bad. Oh, he's only played a year. But in the second, he might be looking at a center or offensive guard. Look, everybody loves Gates at center. He had a statistically great year, but we don't know if he's messing up the calls on defense.
Hmm.
How many blocking assignments were Mr. Blown because he didn't audible right? He didn't call it right. We'll never know. We don't sit in the film room. We don't know what their calls are. We don't know what their signs are. I'm not saying he did that, but what is the possibility of that?
Right.
That is true, Joe.
That is true.
I'm not saying that Gates is not a great center. He could be an all-star center for all I know. I could be 100% wrong, and y'all could be right. But let's look at the whole picture instead of a part of the picture. Because if we draft a starting center in the second round, Gates is going to be the guard. I know people
Mhm.
don't want to hear that, but you have to think like Judge. Judge is thinking outside the box. Judge is covering his bases. He sees who fits where, who the best guy is going to play that position.
Yep,
That's what
that's
Judge
exactly
said.
true.
Yep.
He
So
stood behind that.
say if they do get a center or somebody,
So
and
if
they
we get
feel that
Quiddy
he can
Bay in
run
the
the.
first, and we get a starting center in the second, and then we get Chaz Surratt in the third, I'm very happy with that draft.
Me too.
If we get Gregory Rousseau, we get Pat Fryermuth, and then Chaz Surratt again, I'm very happy with that draft.
I believe this draft here, they're going to try to fill a starting position with that first round pick, but the other picks are going to be fillers.
Yes.
And they're
Mhm.
going to be future players to replace players that contracts are going to be up.
Yes.
Don't be
Right.
surprised. Don't be
Yes. Right.
surprised. Hey, don't be surprised if somebody like the boy from Purdue, Rondell Moore, falls to the second round. They don't draft him.
Nobody expected Xavier McKinney to fall into the second either.
Right.
Exactly.
He
And
was a
Rondell
most
Moore would
definitely
be
a first
there.
round talent.
And I hate to say it, but Rondell Moore would be there to replace Shepard for
He
next
is
year.
going to be there. Yeah, because I think that since Joe Judge went to Moore's I think pro day, right?
Yeah, he went to Morris Pro Day.
Yeah. He wants to and I think Joe Judge is gonna get him at least in the second round. By like 2 more seasons, he's gonna be there in the starting spot for Sterling
You,
Shepard.
you know how excited I'd be if we get Rondell Moore in the second round for
For
one.
real.
This
Yeah.
guy's basically Saquon Barkley at receiver. The guy runs a
Yeah.
4.29. He's 5'7". He's short, but we're not
He's
bringing him
5'7".
in to be an outside receiver. He has a 43-inch vertical. He runs a 4.29, runs great routes, and is an absolute beast when it comes to breaking tackles and stuff at receiver. Half the time you can't even see him. So imagine him getting receiver reverses. You don't even see him until he gets out there fast on you.
Could that guy be the replacement for John Ross next year?
For Ross or Shepard.
But I'm just saying, him signing Ross this year, let's see
Yeah,
what we can do
that's
with
what
it.
great teams do, man. You draft for future.
For
Yeah.
future.
You
Yeah.
make it to where your
You
team
draft
is
for
good
future.
now, and you continue to draft for future prospects that you know if this guy balls out, we're not going to be able to afford him. So we're going to bring somebody in who could play that exact same position, almost
Right.
the exact same way for way less. That's what you do. It's a business.
Yep.
Right.
It's a
Now,
business. There's only a certain amount of players that the owner or the team has real, true feelings towards. That's people like a Peyton Manning. But guess what? When Peyton Manning got injured, didn't they get Andrew Luck and trade him away?
yep.
Right.
It's a business. Tom
Mhm.
Brady. Same thing with him. He got a lot older. They didn't put the pieces around him. They got rid of him. Same thing with Joe Montana. Joe Montana was San Francisco everything.
Mhm.
Guess what? He ended his career with the Chiefs, didn't he?
Yep. I remember
Jerry
that.
Rice. They phased Jerry Rice out of San Francisco because why? They had T.O., they had Stokes.
Yep.
They phased him out. On Jerry Rice Day, they phased him out. They gave
Yep.
Terrell Owens the whole offense that day. He got 20 catches that day.
Yep.
Phased
I
him
remember
out.
that game.
Oakland Raiders, didn't they phase out Tim Brown? I mean, these are Hall of Famers we're talking about, people.
Yep.
Right.
Good teams draft people to replace people. That's just the way it goes. You may not like it. You may think they need to give some loyalty to the players, but they don't owe loyalty to anyone. They're billionaires.
Yeah.
You're a
Right.
billionaire. You make smart business moves all the time.
That's why I don't like it when, people are saying, well, he should take a discount instead of, going out and getting what he's worth. Look,
You're crazy if you do
them
that.
players deserve every penny that they can get no matter where they go. And you know what? It hurts when you lose a favorite player. The day Lawrence Taylor retired, I cried. I
Right.
watched that man from 1981 all the way up to 1992, 91, 92.
I think he
I don't.
retired in 93. 92, it was
93 was
92,
it?
93. Because remember, Strahan played with him 1 year, I
Yes.
believe. So I believe
Yeah.
no, it
Okay.
might have been later. It might have been like 94.
It was in there, but I cried. I mean, I don't even like remembering the day, as you can tell. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember the day. I just to watch your hero retire
Right.
or get traded. You know, look, I understand like everybody else, but these guys, they put their body on. It's not like they're only doing it 18 weeks a year. This is a yearly thing, all year long, every day. Hit the weight room, eat right, study film, learn the playbook, get with the coaches, go to rehab, go to, sit in the whirlpool tubs. There's a lot to it. So let's remember that the next time we say somebody doesn't deserve 20 million, because if they've been in the NFL for a while, they probably deserve 20 million a year.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
because like hits are like car crashes, man. Those guys,
Right. These guys put their body through hell.
you're not lying, and that's why I was a support. I didn't have my channel back then, but I was in support of Darrell Reeves when they was saying he was a mercenary. No,
Oh,
that he's just
yeah.
getting what he's worth. When he went from the Jets to the Patriots, and got a ring, and went to the
Back
Buccaneers.
then went back to the Jets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got his money. That's what he
Yes, he
deserved
did.
to get. Same thing with Primetime Sanders. He was one of the first ones to do it. When
Yep.
he went from the Falcons to the 49ers to the Cowboys. And he put the 49ers over the hump against the Cowboys, and then he went to the Cowboys and put the Cowboys back over the hump against the 49ers.
Right.
He was the interchangeable piece between those 2 years when they were winning those Super Bowls.
Well, that linebacker Ken Norton did the same thing.
Yeah.
Started out with San Francisco and then went
Mm-hmm.
to Dallas.
Charles Haley did the same thing.
Yes, Haley.
Charles Haley did the exact same thing. You got to get what you're worth.
Right.
And that's why I can't be too hard on Williams. Now, I will say he was in danger of marketing himself out. So that's why he brought his price down from like 23, 24 to 21,
Right.
which was a good thing for both sides. Both sides came to the agreement like gentlemen, and it was like, hey, look, Barrett only signed for 18 million, bro.
Right.
So there's no way we're going to give you 24 to 25 million. And he stood his ground for a while, but he was like, you know what? I love playing for this team. I love this organization. His agent, look, we'll come back for 21. Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge say you're very important to this organization. We need you for our line. I'll give you 21. And that's what happened.
Right.
Right.
But I can't blame that man for wanting to get every penny that he believed that he was worth.
That's
And to be
just
honest
like,
with you, he was worth a lot to us.
it's just like the people though that are working today. Are you going to take a pay cut because if you don't take a pay cut, then the factory's going to shut down? I ain't taking no pay cut. I'm going to want this unemployment insurance. I'm going to find another job.
And a lot of people want to point to Tom Brady. Oh, he took a pay cut to do this. Let me tell you something. That was Robert Kraft's son. So don't get it twisted, man. I believe Robert Kraft broke that man off.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you, Robert Kraft had contracts for that guy where he made a lot more money in advertising and doing commercials
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
than he got in a football contract. He was getting set up with money.
Don't get it twisted, man. Tom Brady is a team player, but he's not. No, man. He was getting his money somewhere else. Either it was advertisements or investments.
Yes.
Don't be surprised later on down the line. Tom Brady has a stake with the New England Patriots, and he may own the team. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So don't get it twisted, man. That no, he's not taking less money and just to take less money. Come on, man. He's the best quarterback in the league for almost 2 decades. You really think this man is just taking pay cuts just to do it? No, sir. That man has investments out of this world. We'll never know Tom Brady's net worth.
Right.
You will never know that man's net worth. I promise you that.
Right.
That man probably got investment with New England Patriots, like I said, well, he's the owner after Robert Kraft dies.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Kraft doesn't have any sons. He may have a couple of sons, but I guarantee Tom Brady's going to have a percentage of that team
Right.
because he did
Right.
that much for New England. He put New England on the freaking map. New England didn't have anything before Tom Brady got there. Who was thinking about New England before Tom Brady got there?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Well, Bledsoe was pretty good.
Yeah, you're
As
right.
far as championship wise, they made what
Yeah.
2
They
Super
went.
Bowls before Tom Brady got there and got blew out by the Bears and got beat by Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Other than that, what were they known for? Scott
Yeah, but,
Zolak?
yeah, but Parcells was there at that time, wasn't he?
Yeah, Parcells was there with the Patriots, and they were good for a couple of years.
Yep.
And then Bledsoe came in. They weren't championship contenders. They weren't. Not till Tom Brady got there and took over after Bledsoe got killed. Who was it? Was it Mo Lewis that killed him when they played the Jets and Mo Lewis hit him out of bounds?
I think it was Lewis.
Yeah, I think it was Mo Lewis that hit him when he was with the Jets. Another great linebacker. A lot of people don't give a lot of respect to. Mo Lewis was a dog.
Oh.
I love
I
watching
kinda-
the Jets back in the day.
I feel sorry for Jets fans in a way because I've seen some great defenses the Jets had with Gaston and
They just got wasted, man. When they had Brian Cox, Mo Lewis, they had. You remember they had Aaron Glenn and the other DB. What was his name? Oh, Coleman. When they had Glenn and Coleman, and then they had Victor Green at safety.
Yo,
Wayne
they've
Keyshawn
some-
Johnson, Testaverde, Curtis Martin.
Right.
Man, they had some teams, man. They messed up when they drafted Kyle Brady, though. That was stupid.
that was like the downhill plunge right there.
Yeah, that was horrible. But the Jets had some good teams. I'm not gonna lie to you. They had some good teams. It's just that organizations, man. There's a difference between organizations,
up
no difference
teams.
between winners.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see Pittsburgh with 6 championships, I believe.
With 3 coaches in 60 years.
Right, 3 coaches in 60 years. What's going on, Big Blue? Thank you for tuning in, bro. That's why you see the Patriots when Bill Belichick got there. He's going to be there for another 20 years if he wants to be there.
Right. Well, you notice the Giants are doing the same thing the Patriots did this year, but I'm not hearing any talk about that subject.
I believe the New York Giants are a team that people love to make fun of.
Right.
for some odd reason, because the Patriots spent more money than us, and you don't hear a thing about their playing, about their signings being bad. But they said Kenny Galladay was one of the worst signings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that, and I got so tight.
They said Leonard Williams was the worst re-signing in the past 2 decades. They said it was the worst.
Ridiculous.
Once we become a good team, then they're gonna be shutting their mouths.
Right.
No, they won't. They're still going to talk crap. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah,
they're still going to talk noise about us. They still say we have 2 of the worst Super Bowl wins ever.
Yep.
Oh, that's a fake.
We beat the undefeated Patriots, and we beat the Patriots again.
Right.
They say Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. That's crazy.
That's a cap. That's pure hate.
But you'll turn around and say Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer? He barely got any playoffs.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
But Eli Manning can't be a Hall of Famer? Man, that's crazy. Nate, what's going on, man? You can tune in if you want to. We finna start talking draft in a second. As you can see, guys, I have the updated draft order in the stream. We all know who number 1 is going. Trevor Lawrence. I believe the New York Jets either go Jamar Chase or they go the boy from BYU. I forgot his name.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
You go with offensive line, to be honest.
Penny Sewell.
You know the 49ers are taking a quarterback after that trade.
Yeah, most definitely.
But the Jets are the biggest question mark I have because they're the ones that are going to control this draft.
Right. They can go lineman. They can go
trade
wide receiver, quarterback.
I could see Carolina jumping up there. If they're going to stay with, we don't know if they're going to stay with Sam Darnold. I've heard trade rumors, but I haven't heard anything. I mean, we've heard Watson rumors. We've heard Russell Wilson trade rumors. The Jets are the only question mark as to what this draft is really going to do.
Yeah, the
Because
Jets
they're
can
going
make
to
this go.
decide.
The Jets can make this go a whole different way if they do certain things.
Yes.
But I believe the Jets take a quarterback. I believe they take Wilson there.
Yeah.
I truly believe they take Wilson right there. You know, San Francisco's taking a quarterback. You don't trade up to number 3 to take anything else.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons, they're either going tackle or quarterback because you know they're not going receiving. The Bengals should go tackle, but they may go receiving. Miami, I don't believe they take a receiver because they just got Will Fuller.
We
I
can
don't
have a
believe they
chance to have
take
Jamar
one.
Chase.
I believe the Lions go receiver. I believe the Panthers go Pitts.
They could go Pitts.
No, they need a quarterback so bad.
I don't think there's going to be a quarterback available that they like right
I
there.
don't know.
I
Trey
believe the
Lance would
first
probably
3
be
picks in
available.
this draft are going to be quarterbacks.
That's why I say if
picks.
the Jets don't take quarterback though, and let's say, who's the kid at Ohio State?
Justin Fields.
Let's say Fields is available at 5. I could see the Panthers trading with the Bengals.
Shout out to Mizrah. I always mess up your name, bro. I'm sorry I always mess up your name, man. Mizrah High, I
Was
believe.
good.
Oh yeah, that's the
Great
one that,
channel, man.
yeah,
Go check out that
great
guy's channel, man.
Mhm.
He's a very passionate New York Giants fan. Thank you for tuning in, man. That guy's channel is great. I always tune in when he puts out something.
And I agree with him. I can see the Lions doing that too.
I can see the Lions going Pitts, but I believe
They got
believe,
TJ Hawkinson though. I think they're good at tight end.
If Waddle was there, I believe they take Waddle. Miami is a toss-up. I know they're not going quarterback. They need offensive linemen to protect Tua, but I can see them taking a receiver as well. I really do. I believe the Broncos, they can go anywhere with their pick now because they picked up 2 DBs, I believe.
They're not going to take receiver, though. They did that last year.
They're not taking tight end because they have Noah Fant. So who knows what they may go Michael Parsons for all I know.
And I think that what's it called? Jamar Chase, he could probably be available at 11.
Maybe.
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so. I think Jamar Chase has a strong chance to be number 2. It's between that boy Zach Wilson and Jamar Chase for the Jets. I believe so. Or they may throw a wrench in everybody's plans to throw and take Penny Sewell.
But they need offensive line help too. They might need offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. So I know
the Jets get offensive line.
These are the 3 players that they're going to take. It's either going to be Zach Wilson, Penny Sewell, or Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
those are the 3 that I know are going to wind up in New York. There's no other people on the board that can go before them. I believe we're going to have a top edge at 11, but don't be surprised if Devontae Smith or Waddle is there. They take them.
I don't want receiver at 11.
Don't be surprised.
Oh, man, all you guys were high on Waddle.
I wasn't high on Waddle, really.
That's a lie. You want to Waddle so bad?
No, I wanted Rashad Bateman. I wanted Rashad Bateman then over Waddle.
Oh.
Shout out the industry plug. I was me and maybe Nate were the only ones that was saying Rashad Bateman would be great, but I was the only one that said I would take him over Waddle before we got Galladay.
Me personally, Waddle is more as a slot than an out.
Yeah, but like Pat was saying earlier, if we get rid of Shepard next year, Waddle has this year to learn the slot.
Exactly.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind. That would be a dominant future pick. If they pick Waddle right there, Shepard is gone next year after this year coming, unless he takes a major pay cut.
You figure Soldiers be gone next year. We don't have to worry about Ingram. And then, we get rid of Shepard. I mean, that's going to bump us up to 35 million in cap next year.
Exactly. Hey, whoever was trying to get in, you could come back on, man. I was getting ready to put you in, but you disappeared. But you could come back on, man. Everybody's more than welcome to come to the show.
And there again, like we were talking earlier, Pat, I mean, Shepard's a fan favorite. Everyone loves him. But like you said, it's a business. It's not what you did for me yesterday.
Right.
What can you do for me today, tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
I need you on the field.
Hey, Miz, you always have great things to say. I'm going to call you Miz, so I'm not going to keep messing up your name. I'm gonna call you Miz, man. You're more than welcome to come on the show, bro. But
Yeah, I want him, man. Yeah.
I do believe we may disagree here, but if Waddle was there, I'm not gonna lie. I do believe they take Waddle unless Slater is there. That's the only way I believe they don't take Waddle is Slater is there. I believe they take him over. They're definitely gonna take him over Quiddy Pay. They're definitely gonna take him over Ojari. They're definitely gonna take him over Pitts unless they believe Pitts is the final piece and they got a plan to get rid of Ingram this year. Yeah, I put the link in the chat. Miz, right there. Just click on that link right here, and you can call in, bro. I definitely want to hear your opinion on this.
For real.
Oh, me
on the show, bro.
Oh, me too.
But
yeah,
here we go. And it was the hub that was checking in. Okay. Hey, we got the hub and we got the Miz on. What's going on, fellas?
Hub in here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Miz, I gotta get your opinion, man. What do we do at 11? I just stated what I believe will happen, but I know you got a rebuttal. So tell me what's going on, bro.
Am I on?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
What's up, guys?
What's going on, bro?
I'm all right. How you guys doing?
Talking Giants football, baby.
Hey.
Loving every minute of it.
First time on this show, man. I love it. I just popped in right after dinner and
This is a call.
A mall or his house he walked
Right.
in, man. That was a big house.
Right.
He balling.
I'm trying to explain it, guys, and Hub knows me. Hub knows I get very into it. I made a video earlier today, like about 2 hours ago. Hope you guys check it out outside.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
I saw it.
Check it out. I spoke about the draft, and a lot of guys. Listen, again, I don't want to ruin people's hopes. I always use the younger generation as the guys that are into the weapons, the wide receivers, the running backs. I get it. The whole fantasy plays into it. I'm not a fantasy guy, but we're not drafting a receiver at 11, guys, unless we somehow falls there.
We're not.
Right.
I'm telling you guys, the Giants are not this type of organization. They don't feed into this media fan, crap. The Giants are aiming for a championship, and if you saw John Mara's statement today, he believes the Giants are going to win a Super Bowl.
Hey, I've been preaching O-line since the end of the season. I've been wanting an O-lineman because this O-line scares me. I would love Slater or Sewell fell or an interior. This has to get fixed in order for this to say this is DJ's chance. Because without that O-line, you can't say this is DJ's year to fail or pass.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, let me tell you, and this is not even the guy I love. Hub knows I'm crazy about Micah Parsons, man, because I'm a big defense guy. And I think Parsons would give an attitude to this defense nobody in this league would want to play against. But if Slater's there at 11, Gettleman and Judge are going Slater. Come on, we all know that.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know why people are even discussing it. Oh, no, they're going to take – I got a guy arguing with me all day today. I don't know what I'm talking about. They're going to take Pitts or Waddle. Listen, first of all, Pitts is not going to be there. And number two, they're not taking Waddle after they just put all this money into the receivers in free agency.
Right.
Slater's the guy, man. And I watch a video on Slater, and I'm watching this guy toss Chase Young around like he's a bag of potatoes.
For real.
Yep, I saw that.
Slater was dominant.
That game versus Ohio
Listen,
State.
all I'm going to say is that is impressive, but I mean, our offensive line, as bad as it was in pass protection, dominated Washington's defensive line. So I feel like that's
exactly.
Now that we got
true.
But also, I will say,
go ahead, Hub. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I will say, I think free agency is gonna dictate the draft just like it did last year. Like for example, last year we took Blake Martinez, the big linebacker, one of the big linebackers of the market. And that kind of eliminated us from the Isaiah Simmons sweepstakes. I think this year we kind of did similar things, whereas like we addressed every position but O-line, which is why I'm so convinced we're gonna go O-line.
Put the light on here, yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, I truly believe if Slater is there, that's the pick. I know that's the pick if Slater is there. But if Slater's not there, I still think they go Tucker if he's there. Vera Tucker if he's there.
I haven't seen Tucker highlights. I gotta see how he is.
Now we got some new people in here. I'm going to bring up that Nick Gates thing again, Pat.
Go ahead.
All right. We know that Nick Gates, his blocking, his numbers, and everything were phenomenal.
He's the best blocker we probably
Okay,
have.
but we don't know if he called the right blocking assignment or the not right blocking assignment. How good was he really at calling that before the snap of the ball? That's something that we really don't know. So you guys could get your linebacker, Parsons, at 11, get a center in the second,
Yep.
and then you can move Gates. So you get your defensive player. We're looking at a quality O lineman because the second round center should be starting, who can call the defensive blocking schemes better. We don't, I could be 100% wrong on this,
No,
but
no, you're right.
we don't know how good Gates was at calling the blocking schemes. What if that's why Thomas was missing? What if that's why they were having a hard time on the stunts? Let's look big picture here. You and me, we've seen this stuff before. We lived through Young. We lived through a Corsi. You know, this is the small stuff that nobody really understands or looks at.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
believe if that was happening, I'm gonna chime in on that. If that was happening, I do believe they would have replaced Gates last year
With who?
with Pulley.
Ugh.
I disagree because if that was happening, because it was all happening under the old coach, old offensive line coach.
Right.
I tell you the truth. The Giants were aiming for a center last year, and the Cowboys jumped him for that guy. I forget his name.
Biotish.
Yeah, that was going to be the Giants' pick. When the Cowboys jumped up, traded up, and grabbed him, the Cowboys knew the Giants, that was their next pick.
And then the Saints grabbed that other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The guy from Michigan.
Yep.
I forgot his name. But I do believe that's the only way Nick Gates gets replaced at center. They put him to guard if he was calling the plays wrong. That's the only way, because other than that, I believe Nick Gates saved a lot of stuff last year with the guards when it came to passing, because he would chip one guy and hurry up and get to another guy when it wasn't even called for him to do that to save it. So I believe Cesar Ruiz, that's his name. Thanks, thanks, Big Blue.
Yep.
In the Bronx.
Cesar Ruiz.
Cesar Ruiz. There you go. I do believe Nick Gates is our future center of the future as well. I believe he's going to be great at center.
Yeah,
But I do believe
he is.
if we do not go offensive line in the first round, we go offensive line the second round, bar none.
Oh, 42, 100%. Yeah, and you got two guys I was looking up last night. There's two guys, if we want to go with a defense or let's say a receiver at 11, it's a talent that they have to take. I'm going to tell you something. At 42, you're going to have more than two guys. You're going to have a lot of guys. It's an offensive line deep draft, but you have two guys I was watching. One is Davis out of Ohio State.
Yeah, I've been
watching. Might be around there. And the other one is Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. A big guy, reminds me of Becton.
Yes.
Do you believe we would move him to guard though? Because I don't trust him at tackle. I don't trust him at tackle, man. I don't.
Sometimes I don't understand why. If you could play tackle, why can't you play guard? I mean, you're going to the NFL. You're a football player. You know what I mean? It's like they're saying, "Oh, Parsons is a middle linebacker. He can't rush off the edge." Are you out of your mind? If you're a football player and you're a great player, you're an All-American. You could do several things.
Right.
I believe we have the coaching staff for him to be able to move to the outside. They would teach him how to use his hands better as far as pass rush moves. And you can't say he doesn't have the strength, because he does have the strength to do it. I believe he just has to work on his pass rush moves. He's great at blitzing up the middle, but the edge is a beast. You're going against monsters out there, 320 pound, 330 pound monsters out there with long arms. So he has to be able to use his hands better in order to rush off the edge. The edge rusher is a hard position, but I do see where you're going with this, because people like Von Miller. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the longest arm guy, but his bend on the edge and the way he uses his hands is barred to nobody. So I do see why people can say he could play on the edge a little bit. And if he could, that would be an absolute monster coming off the edge. An absolute monster.
Listen, I could be wrong. This guy could come off the edge. Believe me. And the great ones, they learn how to adjust to different styles, and I believe Parsons is a generational player. And Hub knows. I already went off about this.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Parsons, nobody will regret it if the Giants, if he lands at 11, and he never should have come anywhere near 11, but because of all the trades, it looks like he's gonna come close. If he's at 11 and the Giants took Parsons, I'm letting you know right now, the Giants are the scariest defense in football, and that's why I want him.
Right.
I
Big
just want to
facts.
say I feel like we're already I don't know, because you guys could call it bias, but I legitimately think we're already one of the scariest, if not the scariest defenses in football. Like we're literally, I think, one edge away from being the definitive scariest. Once again, call it bias if you want to, but we were already a top 10 defense last year. I feel like we improved a good amount this year. Who knows where we could be? But that's right where we're at. But Pat, I do got to pop out. I just wanted to pop in for a bit, say what's up to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to eat dinner and whatnot. But yo, man, keep up the good work, bro. Shout out to everybody in here. Joe, Zeke, Miz, man, guys, have a good one.
All right,
All right.
Hub.
If you're not already subbed to the Hub channel, which is probably not likely, go and sub up to the Hub's
Yeah.
channel, man.
If
Great
y'all not
channel.
subbing to the Hub, I don't know what y'all doing.
Right.
But I will tell you this: if we get a consistent edge rush, guys, I believe we could be the best defense in the league. What's going on, Goat? What's going on, Joe?
Yo, what's up, guys? What's up?
I believe we could be the best defense in the league if we get a consistent edge rush. If we get a consistent edge rush, it's a wrap.
Top 3, yeah.
Let me throw a name at you guys, and I know that I did notice. I studied him a lot. I do notice that he's a much better run stopper than an actual pure edge rusher. But what do you think about Kwity Paye?
He's a monster.
The best run defender in the draft.
Kwity Paye was
best run defender in the draft.
I'd like to get him.
When that guy plays against the run, guys, he's at a different speed. I don't know what it is, what they taught him to play against the run over there, but he does that better than anybody in the league. He just does not have pass rush moves.
Yeah, what do you have? Like 8 career sacks, or is like
like 8 career sacks.
Listen,
if Kwity Paye learns how to rush the passer, that dude's gonna be an absolute monster in the league.
That dude could be the next Jamar Chase if he knows how to get that pass.
He disrupts the play.
If you watch his pro day the other day, this guy's built like an animal, man.
Man, an absolute animal.
Yes.
You know, I loved how he looked, but you're right. I don't know why. I guess he's not a defensive tackle, but in the NFL, he might be.
Yeah,
he could be a defensive tackle in the NFL. He probably
when I tell you, when you look at that guy's film against the run, he plays the run better than most defensive ends in the league right now.
Yes,
like his run, I think it's just natural to him, Miz. I think that's just a natural thing for him.
Yeah,
to play the run. Like our run defense,
highlights, he cuts and shifts great.
Man, imagine
if
he
knows
could
how to slide up the line as the O line goes left or right. He knows where it's going before it goes. The running play,
like it's like watching two different players. When it comes to the run, that's the fastest guy on the field. That's the fastest guy on the field when it comes to the run. But then when it comes to pass rush, it's like he doesn't know what he's doing right now. But I think Patrick Brown can coach him up. And I promise you, if they draft that guy and he learns some pass rush moves, geez.
He has to, me personally,
dude, man.
Yeah, me personally, if he's doing pass rushing, he has to do a lot of swim moves too. More than just pushing them off.
It's not the swim move. The swim move will bury you. You got to get your hands inside the offensive lineman's hands so you can swipe them down.
You know where he messes up at? He lets the linemen get their hands on him before he gets into his move.
Exactly.
He needs that
Believe me,
pass
rush is an art. Look at Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest guy out there. He's not the biggest.
5'11".
But that guy gets his hands up so fast to where he swipes that lineman's hands before he can push out and touch him. And then once you get the leverage, I don't care how strong that offensive lineman is, you can move him anywhere you want to move him to. Yeah. Look at what Khalil Mack did to the tackle for the Buccaneers. The guy everybody wanted. I can't think of his name.
Wirfs.
Yeah, Andrew Wirfs. He took Andrew Wirfs with one hand and threw him.
Yeah.
because he had so much leverage on worse before the play started. It's all about
Yeah.
leverage when it comes to defensive line, and he can do it. And if
Yeah.
he learns to do that,
He's gonna
that's
run.
the next Aaron Donald. I promise
Mhm.
you, man. That dude is quick as hell when it comes to the run.
Mhm.
And I
If
wouldn't
he
be
can-
surprised if the Giants take him. I really wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
And
surprised either.
that's where people underestimate Leonard Williams, man. He could do it all.
Right.
right.
You know, I'm happy we brought him back. I know there was questions, and we didn't know that we could make that money, but it all worked out great. But Leonard Williams, let me tell you something. People are like, we need him because he's a pass rusher. Let me tell you something. He could play the run as good as anybody.
He
I
could.
believe he's one of the best in the league. He's one of the best in the league at playing a run. That's what he did his first year when he was here.
Let me tell
And
you something,
actually,
guys. He has better stats than Aaron Donald. He has
when it
more
comes to the
tackles than
run,
him.
when it
Guess
comes to the
what?
run, he has better stats than Aaron Donald. And what he did bring is he brought pressure on the quarterback as well. It just wasn't
Yes.
amounting to sacks, but he had the most quarterback hits and most quarterback pressures over his 2-year span with us.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
he's going to get
That-
double teamed a lot more.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
once he
I
get
don't
double
think
teamed,
so.
Dexter Lawrence is
I-
I
gonna
don't
be
think
good.
so. If we
I
move Dexter Lawrence to that nose tackle, I don't think so. I believe he gets the same amount.
I don't think you're moving Dexter to the nose.
No.
I don't see
I
that.
mean, he could play the nose tackle.
He's a
He
3
could.
technique.
Flacco, what's good, bro? Thank you
He's
for
not a
tuning
nose
in.
tackle.
That's my boy Green. But
Oh.
I believe they do move on the nose tackle when it comes to pass rushing positions. I do believe they're moving a defensive tackle so we can bring in the boy from Minnesota to put on the other end.
Coughlin, Carter Coughlin.
No.
Nah,
The
he's
guy
talking
we
about
got in the
the
free
free
agency.
agent from Minnesota.
Oh, the
Dick.
Viking.
Oh.
Yeah, Ifedi.
Ifedi.
I believe it'd be Ifedi, Dexter Lawrence, Williams, Carter, and whoever else shows up at that other edge position. If it's the X-Man or if it's a draft pick or whoever. Shoot, we might put Ragland over there a couple of times. Who knows?
Listen,
But
we're gonna draft somebody, and also don't forget a lower level kid that we have, Carter Coughlin. He'll be mixing in.
Yeah, he'll be mixing in there as well. What's going on, B? Thank you for tuning in, bro. But I believe if we get a dominant edge, if somebody shows up to be a consistent pressure off that edge, hopefully it's Carter. I believe we'll be the best defense in the league. I truly believe that. That's the only thing we're really missing is a consistent edge.
Mhm.
Carter's due, man. Carter's due for a big year.
And I love that guy's motor. Carter Coughlin, I love his motor. He's maybe a little small in stature, but that guy has a motor that does not stop.
Mhm.
Like he continues to go. He
But
does not stop.
What's
Yeah,
his name?
that's a grinded out guy. You know when a player is not as talented as others, but he outworks people. That's him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He
And that
outworks
dude from
people.
the Vikings. Would you like to? What's his name? He has a weird last name. No disrespect. We just got him. What's his name? The one that has like 10
Yeah.
sacks as an edge rusher.
Yeah,
Feta or
Odigbo.
something.
Yeah,
Odigbo.
him.
Ifedi.
What? Yeah. What if?
Denebo. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. What if he plays a little bit of defensive tackle?
That's what he's gonna
He-
play.
Yeah, that's what.
They're gonna put him all over the line, man.
Yeah,
Patrick Brown, man, you
Mhm.
might see a defensive line of Williams, Odigbo, and Carter Coughlin on the defensive line with pass
Listen.
rush plays.
Right.
You never know.
Just because you might line up in the 5-3 technique, whatever, doesn't mean that's your assignment. You might stunt to the one technique.
Mhm.
You might stunt outside. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter where they put you. Your assignment is what defense did they call. You might go to the 3 technique all the way and come around the 4.
Exactly.
Oh, just because you're lining up nose tackle doesn't mean that's your assignment.
Mhm.
Right.
I just wanted to say something. I just wanted to go back and say one thing before the hub got off. I wanted to just speak 1 second. That I wanted to give you just a difference from my outlook, and it was in my video today on Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, you're saying that if you get Micah Parsons, the Giants might be the best team. And he was all saying, well, the Giants are already probably one of the best teams. Yes, maybe they are, but here's the thing. The Giants have sophisticated, smart athletes on defense. It's a
Right.
sophisticated, it's a very smart, sophisticated, secondary-led defense. When you bring Mika Parsons in, you now become an intimidating, tough bully. A bully. Forget about sophisticated. Intimidating, old school. I'm gonna punch you in the face and kick you in the lips defense, and other teams are gonna be scared. The quarterback has to walk up to the line of scrimmage and identify where this guy is. Like the linebackers we had in the 80s. It's been a long time since we've intimidated teams in the league, and I want that.
Hey,
Yeah.
what Micah Parsons brings is exactly what the Miz is saying. He also brings a elite athleticism. It's the same thing Carter brings as well, because Carter can actually guard slot receivers and everything out there. When he was healthy, he was flying around the field. So we will actually have two players out there that can fly anywhere on the field that we want them to. He brings an element to this defense that we don't have in the middle.
Exactly.
If you have Michael Parsons in the middle there, he could cover up that whole middle. You just have to teach him how. And that's what Graham does. That's why we're able to take players the way we can take them, because we have teachers now. We don't have just somebody out there just saying that he's a head coach. No, we have teachers out there now. So they're going to teach him how to do certain things.
But Parsons isn't exactly a reach because Judge knows the importance of the linebacker role. Last year, we drafted 4 of them in the later rounds.
And they all played.
Yes.
They all played.
Yeah.
That's not a reach. I mean, you might even see Parsons and then Chad Surratt in the third.
Exactly.
Right.
Those were linebackers that can fill the spots. They're good. Those guys are not even the same planet as a Mika Parsons. Not in the same world, man. We haven't drafted an LB like Parsons since Carl Banks. That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Nate talking Giants.
when you watch all those guys that teams are scared of that played for the Ravens, Ray Lewis, Suggs, all right, Reed, he's that type of guy, man. We need that.
I want
Ray
to invite
Lewis is
Nate.
good,
I want to
man.
invite Nate to the chat to have him explain why he doesn't like Michael Parsons as much as the Miz, or it seems like he doesn't like him at all. He says Parsons doesn't have the coverage instincts to play mid zone. He says you can coach a lot of stuff, but you can't teach natural mental abilities. He said if we're going to use Michael Parsons, he'll be a sword for Patrick Graham to swing downhill. He said he's not going to be diagnosing plays and sifting through concepts. So there's a lot of bashing going on Michael Parsons. If you're able to come on, Nate, I want you to come on and explain to me and Miz.
Yeah, come on.
Basically, why you're saying you don't like Michael Parsons. If you can come on.
Come on, explain this to me. I want to know.
The man killed us.
Let me get my
photo.
Giants hat for this. I'm ready to go.
He says, nah, I do like him. I just don't think he'll play the role you think he will. Well, the role I think he would play is the same thing that Tate Crowder was doing, except he's going to be bigger, faster, and stronger.
Right.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I see him as an outside linebacker, not the inside. Like I could see Parsons more like an LT role, situation pass rusher.
Thank you.
But he could come back into coverage on a swing pattern. I'm not telling you to have him guard tight end, but he could. He's fast enough to watch that running back coming out of the backfield.
Right.
What I mean, he would be that second middle linebacker on the roster, but I believe they would just move him around like a gadget. I believe that's what they would do. I mean, he will be on the outside. Shoot, you might see him on the defensive line one play. You never know what they do with Parsons, because he's just that much of a weapon.
Exactly.
Listen, Parsons can line up in the middle next to Martinez, and right before the snap, he's going to go full speed to the outside as a pass rusher. He can line up on the left side one play, on the right side the next, stand up, blitzing linebacker. Sometimes you could sneak him back into a zone. Maybe he picks a ball off. But I'm telling you, people think he can't edge rush. He's not going to edge rush from the fingers in the floor like an Aziz. He's going to be a stand-up outside linebacker with a straight lane at the quarterback. And you have Martinez to play the middle of the field. We're good.
Right. Big facts.
I do believe they will use him like that, man. I do believe they would
But he's
because
also
they
got
will
a
put.
teammate. Got a teammate on the team, doesn't he? Didn't we get that one kid from Penn
Yeah,
State?
Cam Brown.
Yeah.
Cam Brown.
Somebody's mic is cracking.
Like Cam Brown also, like
Yeah.
Crowder.
Yeah.
But we're talking about guys that are gonna fill in to give these guys a rest. You know.
I really believe he could play that off-ball middle linebacker. I truly believe he can play that. I mean, I would not mind Micah Parsons. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, let me see.
Yes, sir.
Joe, I'm gonna take you off real quick so I can add Nate, and then I'm gonna add you back on, bro.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll say a little bit.
No, I said Joe, not Joe. Joe.
Oh.
All right, what's
Nate.
up?
There he is.
I only got
Nate.
a few minutes here today, but I do want to
Look
talk about
at
Micah
him.
Parsons because
Look at
first
him.
off, he's an absolute beast. I'm just pointing out that I see him a little bit differently than you do. I just don't think he has the coverage instincts to play in mid zone. I think there's certain guys with certain strengths and skill sets, and that's just not one I see him as having. If you can break down the tape with me and show me where you see him with those coverage instincts, I'll be thrilled. He's obviously got the athleticism and the range for it. That much is clear. The physical aspect is no question mark. That dude can play downhill like a monster. I just question his abilities about 10, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's where I have a little bit of issues there. In man coverage, I can absolutely see it. I can see him manning up the running back as a will outside. No problems with that. And I think he is a will, not a Mike. But I think that's also part of the problem is Giants fans see him as one specific role. And I don't know why I'm saying Giants fans. All fans see him as one specific role. Some people say, oh, I want him at Mike. Some people say, oh, I want him at Will. Some people even say they want him as a true edge, which is, I just don't think that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
I think Micah Parsons is a guy that's really good at a lot of things, but he doesn't do one thing as a specialty. You shouldn't be using him in one place on your defense every time. With a guy like Blake Martinez, you're going to stick him in the middle of the defense. He's going to be the field general. He's the captain of your defense, and he's going to make the whole thing work around him. He's a guy that plays his role. Micah Parsons,
Right.
that's what I mean when I say you swing him like a sword. Patrick Graham, that's his weapon. Micah Parsons, if you're drafting him, is a guy that Patrick Graham is going to move around the defensive formation. Sometimes he'll be next to Blake Martinez in the middle, keying the run. Sometimes he'll be as a will on the outside, manned up on the halfback. Sometimes he'll be blitzing. Hopefully a lot will be blitzing. But if you're going to use Micah Parsons, I don't think you use him as sort of that role a lot of people see him as. Because for me, before I started watching film, like way last year, like even around the draft after that finished last year, that was one of the guys I was looking at. I was looking at him and I was looking at Greg Rousseau before I had watched any of them, because that's sort of the time when you're looking at guys you've heard about, not necessarily guys you've watched. And then I watched Micah Parsons and I had thought, maybe he's not the coverage linebacker I'm looking for. But the more you watch and the more you think, he can do so much other stuff that it kind of doesn't matter. If he's going to be doing other stuff like rushing the passer and being just as dominant downhill as a run defender as he is, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to draft him to be a coverage guy dropping back into Tampa 2. That's just not what his role is. But with Micah Parsons, if you put him downhill, even as a strong side backer in a 4-3, which is dying off in the league, but we do run it more often than just about anybody. If you put him as a Sam linebacker and you try and just say, hey, go block Micah Parsons tight end, not going to happen. He's going to crush that block and he's going to blow up the play. I just don't see him as a guy with mid-zone instincts. I think that's when you try and put Micah Parsons in the middle and try and say, okay, read through this concept, sift through the play, key things, sort of just diagnose the play as it's happening. That's where I think Micah Parsons struggles.
Is somebody eating?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Is it Zeke?
I think that's Miz, Mike.
Because he has a phone, that's why.
Oh, that's why I was doing it? Okay.
No, not right now. Yeah, I'm on the phone.
But that's a great point, Nate. I believe if they draft Micah Parsons, bro, they're going to use him as a weapon. They're going to use him exactly as a weapon. I believe he's going to be like the Jabril Peppers of the front seven.
Exactly. And if you want to talk about a guy like that, look at the offense. There's guys sort of like I compare it to sort of Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen doesn't have a defined role for the Bears. They use him everywhere. They use him just in all sorts of different packages and plays and different things like that because his skill set is so diverse. That's what Micah Parsons is to me. You acknowledge that a player like him has weaknesses, and you cover up those weaknesses and give him the support he needs to be dominant in what he does best.
Let me just answer to Nate, because I don't want to hold you guys with this noise, so I don't want to disturb it. I'll get off and listen. But Nate, the thing, exactly what you're saying, I guess you answered it. What I was going to say is, when you got the secondary the Giants have, this guy's never going to have to be in any coverage situation. This guy is a line of scrimmage. This guy's a line of scrimmage savage. He's going to be blowing plays up, smashing people, and going after the quarterback. You don't ask this guy to cover a tight end. That's not what it's for.
Right,
and
exactly.
I'm telling you right now, man. And listen, I'm not going to be upset if the Giants go Slater or offensive line, because I get it. It's very important right now. But let me tell you something. This guy on the Giants defense, the Giants are the best defense in football. You know, right now. The Giants and the Rams are the best defenses in football.
Well, that's the thing about the Giants right now. And that's why these free agent moves were so important.
You go by Giants history. The best defenses in football, the Giants, whenever they had the top defenses, they always won the division. They always made runs to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying go to the Super Bowl this year. We will win the NFC East. These teams don't scare me at all. Not Dallas.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
And I think when you look at these free agent moves, that's what was so helpful for them. It makes it so that just about anything we do at the 11 is going to be a good pick. Rashawn Slater, great pick. Micah Parsons, great pick. A guy that I really like in Jalen Phillips, who is that dominant edge you guys were talking about before, who every play is going to be getting to the quarterback. Great pick. There's just so much you can do at the 11 now. That flexibility is so valuable. And that's why those free agent moves at corner and at receiver were so important.
Hey, Benny, I see you. When Nate hops off, I'm going to bring you on, Benny.
Yeah, and I really just want to talk about Micah Parsons, so I said my bit. I'm good. You can pull me off and put Benny back in.
All right. Have a good one. Hey, you got a string light on, Nate?
Don't get off, because I'm going to be getting off in a minute, because I don't want the noise to continue, and then I'm going to listen to you guys. This is a great stream. Thank you for having me on. You guys know I'm a newcomer about a month.
Oh, anytime, Miz.
Miz always brings the energy. I saw him on Hub stream the other day.
Hey, somebody my age that can talk old school football.
check my video out today, guys. Check my video out today. There was a lot of passion in it, but the thing is, I'm gonna throw one little thing at you, and then I'm getting off. You guys will talk about me. Throw one more thing at you.
I heard. Can you put Miz's channel in the chat so I could subscribe?
Yeah, it's at Zvi Mizrahi. That's TSVIMIZRAHI. I'm gonna throw the link up.
It's basically his name, Z.
All right.
Yeah.
It's at my name, TSVIMIZRAHI. You'll see me around. You can look on the Hubs page. I threw up a video today, but here's my one more thing. And it was a rumor going around 2 days ago. If there's a quarterback at 11, the Chicago Bears would offer the 20th pick, a third-round pick, and a first-round pick in 2022. Would you guys do it?
Oh, yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I just looked it up and found the channel. He's wearing a Yankees cap. That's an instant subscribe right there. Instant subscribe. Instant sub right there.
Yeah, I got that in the fourth in the fourth championship Giants coat on. Yep. Listen.
Dunion rings right there.
Thank you for having me. And I'll be watching you guys, all right?
All right, thanks, Miz, man. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Benny, what's going on, bro?
And I'll stay on till 45, and then I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
Hopefully everything works right now, because I've been having some Wi-Fi problems, but I don't know. Yeah, hopefully everything works, because having some Wi-Fi problems. So I think it's all fixed up. So
okay.
But how's it going, you guys?
All right. So you've been tuning into the show, Benny, man. What do you want us to do at 11? You've always got great takes. Nate gave his opinion.
Right now, I want Slater.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I want an offensive line. If not, would probably go edge rusher, or maybe I would probably go edge rusher. Honestly, I don't really want receiver unless it's Chase. I just think it's
Same here.
we have other needs on this team that we could definitely do. And here's the thing: I understand people saying that like one of these receivers might not work out, but let's give these guys a chance. The guys that we have right now, we can always draft a receiver first of all later in the draft because it's not that hard to find guys.
Mhm.
And also,
Oh no.
if one of these guys doesn't work out, like he doesn't have a good year, we can draft somebody in a future year. I think that we have some other needs that I like to fill.
Sure.
Like offensive line, like edge rusher, maybe. I think that those make just more sense overall. And I wouldn't even. And then the other thing I might take maybe is I would maybe consider Kyle Pitts, but we'd have to trade Ingram if we did that.
If we trade Ingram, I could get with
If
it.
we trade Ingram,
Yeah, because that's just overkill, man. That'd be
Yeah.
No, if we don't
This Wi-Fi is bad.
Yeah,
want to
this
trade
Wi-Fi
Ingram,
is
then I'm not
bad.
taking Pitts at all. Definitely.
Oh no.
You
All
guys hear
right.
me?
Well, yeah, we can hear you. I think for me, like in terms of what I want to do at 11, again, we talked about this before. The nice thing about having those players we signed in free agency is the flexibility it gives us. So there's really not any position that I'd be unhappy if we took. Like it's not like there's one thing we're locked in as doing in the first round. It's kind of just the best player that's there on the board, whoever fits us best. And I think the one thing I kind of don't want to do is take a receiver at 11 because my God, the depth in this class is insanity.
Mhm.
I would be so happy if we could take care of business in rounds 1 and 2, and then at the top of round 3, go out and get a guy like Elijah Moore. I would be so happy with that.
He will be absolutely crazy in the slot next year if we release Shepard. I'll tell you another receiver that would be crazy in the slot that we could get the 4th or 5th round. His name is, I believe, Jalen Darden from North Texas.
Not familiar with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be making the hidden gems. I'm doing 2. One on Warren Jackson and Jalen Darden. Those will be 2
I
receivers.
would like to get Warren Jackson at.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
4th round.
And I'll be doing them tonight before I go to sleep, and I'll be putting them out tomorrow before I do the True Big Blue podcast. Shameless plug. Monday, I'll be on Online Big Blues channel. It'll be tomorrow at 8. We're going to do it on his channel next week, and then it'll be on my channel for like 3 weeks. So
here's a hot take. We're not drafting a wide receiver at all this year.
At all.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
Guys, here's what throws me over the top of that. We have the guys, you know what? They're undrafted free agents, but Judge might see something in them. We don't know. And when we acquired John Ross, that told me that Judge is probably going to go a different direction in this draft, considering that we only have 6 picks.
Yeah, very possible.
So I really, right now, until more information comes out, I'm 50-50 if we even got a receiver in the 4th round.
That can be true.
Because who knows what's going to come out and undrafted again this year. Judge has already said that he wants the talent. He wants teachers as coaches. If he's got guys, Mac didn't do too bad. Who was the other guy? Pettis, he didn't do too bad. And there was one more we got, wasn't there?
Austin Mack.
I said Mac. There's another receiver. I can't remember. Right?
It was Austin Mack. It was Pettis. Victor went to I believe, somebody else's practice squad. I think we still got David Seals on the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had that little fast guy, that one little fast guy.
We still got that big tall dude too, that's 6'8", that tight end. He's on the practice squad.
Oh yeah, Rising John.
Rising John. He's still on there.
He's not going to be anything, I don't think.
You know what? You got to root for the underdog. If Victor Cruz can do it, I'm sure Rice and John can do it.
I hate that argument so much, though.
You know what, though? If it's possible, it has a chance.
But Victor Cruz was an undrafted free agent, not because of his on-field play. He was an undrafted free agent because he had off-field problems.
UMass. How many people are from UMass that play in the NFL?
Right, but his problem wasn't his play. He would have been drafted if he had done well in classes.
Yeah, I get it.
These guys were undrafted because they weren't good enough to be drafted.
But there
is a guy named Rod Smith that wasn't drafted, and he went on to be one of the top receivers in the Hall of Fame.
Exception, not the rule.
Jeff Saturday, Peyton Manning center for 13 years, was undrafted.
Sean O'Hare came here.
Sean O'Hare, there's another one. So,
Rising
Look,
John Joel, I'm sorry.
I'm
he's
just
not-
throwing it out there. I'm
he's
just throwing it out there. You know
He's
what?
not.
If you're going to talk about the whole thing, let's talk about the whole thing. Let's big picture this. When you get tunnel vision, you get in trouble.
That's
So,
true. That's
you know,
true.
That's where my thinking. I've had people say that, why do I have blind faith in Judge? Why do you always say trust Judge? Look, it's not that I have blind faith. Okay, what it is I've learned a long time ago that I have no control over who comes to this team.
True.
So what good is it if I get upset?
Right.
So why not throw things out there, what sticks to the wall? You know?
I think for me, it's just I believe in Judge because there's such an obvious, clear difference between him and everything we've had before. It's just it's night and day. I think like I am at an age for me where I was so young the last time when Coughlin was here and he was doing things and taking this team places. So I have essentially grown up in the era of Ben McAdoo's and the era of Pat Shurmur's. And now I can finally see, Joe Judge is the first real head coach I get to watch. And you think I don't notice the difference? Yeah, it's a black and white thing.
That's the thing, Nate. Though people they don't see the difference. They don't want to. I mean, the only quarterback you know is Eli.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. You know,
Right.
You know Coughlin for a while, like the whole thing you just went through.
Same
People
here. I only know Eli.
People refuse to use their eyeballs. They'd rather make it a popularity contest on how many times I can get retweeted because Renan said this. So I'm going to agree with him. I'm going to say Daniel Jones sucks. You know, he fumbles all the time. He doesn't know how to read a defense. I'm just going to, so that my stuff gets liked because other people hate it too.
All right.
Instead of saying, you know what?
I do have to head out.
All right, Nate. Thanks for
talking
tuning
for a
in.
few minutes.
Nate.
Max,
I will
what's
keep
good,
watching
bro?
the stream.
See you, man.
Adios.
Hey, Nate.
Max.
Max.
Put Max in, man.
Oh,
He's a good.
my boy Max.
Right?
I just put the link in there, Max. You can click on if you want to come on, bro.
We're gonna liven
if
up
you're
this
listening,
channel,
if you listen to Jordan Wernan as your main Giant source, I feel sorry for you, man. Because you're always going to think the Giants suck. You're always going to think every move that they do is bad. And makes it so bad. He said that we're the guys that's stealing his stuff. Like, dude, I don't even pay attention to you. Nobody pays attention to you, man. You're always a Debbie Downer, man. You say everything that the Giants do is horrible. And I will admit the signing of Pat Shurmur and McAdoo as coaches were great moves, but we still made the playoffs in 2016. Max, what's going on, man? He has the most professional background I've ever. The lighting is like amazing, man. I gotta get my game up. Like, his lighting is absolutely amazing. It's like as soon as he come on, you know he's gonna do a podcast.
I don't know about that.
I thought he was doing the grade school thing. I was getting ready to trace his shadow over there to the left.
I got a good question, guys. Would you like
nothing much, man? What are y'all talking about?
Oh, not much. Go ahead, Zeke.
Oh yeah, I have a good question. If Philip Lindsay was still in free agency, would you like to have him over Booker?
No.
No, that costs too much money.
That, and I believe Booker's better than him.
That
might be
Lindsay's just faster. Lindsay's just faster. I believe that system in the Broncos was perfect for him. We'll see what he does.
Where did he end up signing?
To the Houston.
Yeah, he went to the Texans.
The Texans.
I don't see him doing anything over there in Houston. I just
he could probably do pretty good. He could probably be like a Wayne Gallman type.
No,
not in contact, but like he probably have like at least 600 yards.
I believe we got the right guy for what we need as far as a backup, bar none, and we only got it for $2 million. So
Booker fits Garrett's offense a lot better than he would.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you know, Jason Garrett is gonna really work really good with Saquon because he if he worked really good with Ezekiel Elliott, he's most definitely gonna work really good with Saquon Barkley. Without a doubt.
All Saquon has to do is hit the hole, man.
Yeah, all he got to
No
do is
dance
do that.
around, hit
Yeah.
the hole. It's all right to get 8 yards. Just saying. That's all he has
Or
to do is
2.
hit the hole. Right.
Just positive yards.
Right?
But Max, what do you want us to do at 11? Everybody's giving their opinion on what they want us to do at 11. We got to hear Max's opinion.
I know Joel's gonna get a nice smile on his face with this one.
Come to the dark side.
He tried to tell me early.
Come to the
Tried
dark
to tell me
side.
early. If Rayshon Slater is there, it's a no-brainer. If
I
Rayshon
believe
Slater is
that. I believe that
gone,
as well.
if Rayshon Slater is gone, Micah Parsons might be it, to be honest with you. And then moving into the second, I'd look at someone to plug in that could play somewhere like tackle or guard.
Okay. I believe
Beard
this
nose.
wholeheartedly. If Slater is there at 11, I don't think the Giants care who's on the board at that point. I think they take Slater, and I believe he makes this O-line dominant. Reason why is we can still keep Purdy at right tackle. That guy at right guard will be absolutely amazing.
Well, and not only that, but he would still be at least competition for the right tackle position in the offseason.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, because you got to figure, what's his name's going to be gone next year.
Will Hernandez.
Solder. Yeah, Hernandez.
I know Solder is gone. He knows he's gone.
That's a good point, Max. I never thought of that. I don't see us re-signing Hernandez unless he has a breakout.
Probably not. Yeah.
I'd rather have excuse me, I'd rather have Will Hernandez over Shane Lemieux, man.
It just depends.
But I mean, Shane Lemieux's on the rookie contract. He's not going anywhere for at least the next 3.
Yeah.
You know, this is Will Hernandez's last year on the rookie contract.
And I don't see us giving him any type of good left guard money. I just don't.
He hasn't done anything.
But Hernandez is Shermer's guy. And Lemieux
I was talking with someone else, and they were thinking that the left guard this season is going to be Lemieux either way.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. They've had the whole offseason to train.
Right.
You've got to take that into account.
So I think he get his pass
somebody.
blocking a little better. He's good.
Mm-hmm. True.
Right there. You know he's working on that. You know Judge sat him down and said, look, you're going to compete for this position next year. If you put in the work, you have a chance to earn a starting spot on this offensive line.
Hey, but don't be surprised, guys, if the Giants take 2 offensive linemen in this draft.
Right.
Oh, by the way, this is for Nate. Rayshon Slater.
Yeah. He said y'all pronounce it Rayshon. It's just Rayshon. Me, and I don't know why.
Rayshon.
I don't know. It's Rayshon or Rashawn, either way.
Yeah.
As long as he goes out there and plays well, I'll give a damn what.
I just want to call him a New York Giant next year. How's that?
Right.
Let me ask you this, Joel, because I wasn't in here earlier. If Rayshon Slater isn't there, do you reach on someone like AVT at 11, or are you fine with the Parsons pick moving into round 2, looking at someone like Wyatt Davis?
Well, we were talking about that earlier, and you know what? I think what I said earlier was this is Judge's draft.
Yeah.
Last year, Judge drafted. He got his now, just like what Belichick did with New England, okay? He got the guys in that he thinks that can develop this team and get us on the winning track as fast as possible. So I'm looking at who is under their last year or a 1-year contract to fill holes. This is Judge's most important draft of his career. This defines him. This tells us where the team is going. So Hernandez is probably gone. We don't have an edge rusher. Now, at 11, it might not be the best, but don't knock it if we get a defensive edge. Even though it might not be, it might not be.
You're scaring me, Joel.
Cost effective. It might not be the right pick. but it could be the best pick for the team. Need, it's not deep. Quiddy pay wouldn't be bad. People want Phillips, even though he has an injury history.
Well, that seems to be the trend of the offseason, though. I mean, Kenny Galladay, people say it's not an injury history, but he is coming off of an injury. Adoree Jackson definitely has an injury history. All these players that we've been picking up are out of the normal for Dave Gettleman's trends, right?
Yes.
So I mean, that is the trend of this offseason. So if they do go Jalen Phillips somewhere in this draft, I'm not surprised.
Don't look at Rousseau out of the question. I mean, to be realistic, if you like what Judge and Graham did last year, how can you get upset if we take somebody that Graham wants, who thinks he can develop him? We never expected the defense to be that good, but yet it did.
If Rousseau gets developed, then he's going to be a monster. But I think he's too risky to take at 11.
But Joel, that still doesn't that still doesn't answer the question. If we're at 11 and Rashawn Slater is not on the board, are you okay with someone like Parsons, like Rousseau, like Phillips?
Yeah.
Or do you move into the round 2 going, we should have taken AVT at that spot?
I think they go Tucker. If they really want an offensive lineman, the way I think they do, I think they go Tucker right there.
I think if Parsons is there and Slater's gone, that they're going Parsons. I don't think they reach for Vera Tucker.
I'm going to be happy either way. Right now, after what they did, I never thought they would have got Leo's contract as low, which is why I didn't want Leo. I wanted to spend that money. Why? Because we needed players, right, Max?
Right.
I've been harping on that.
We got him, Joel. We got him.
I know they did, but that's why I wanted.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
Tomlinson. I wanted Tomlinson because he was going to be cheaper. We'd have more money. We'd be able to bring these guys in. Well, Abrams is a genius. He got Leo's contract so low that we were able to get the necessary pieces that we needed to fill in a bunch of these holes.
Well, now it wasn't just Leo either. I mean, look at Solder's contract. Look at Kenny Galladay's contract.
They got Solder to go down to $3 million.
Right. I mean, the Giants were prepared more than I ever thought. So, you know what? I would be okay. I'm going to be fine with whatever they do. If they trade down, then they trade down.
That's not happening. That's one thing I will say confidently is not happening.
If they pick,
I don't know, man. If the quarterback is there at 11 and the Bears offer what they talking about offering, I think you'd be foolish not to take that. I think you would be foolish. Now you would get that first round.
You probably said the same thing in 2018 when we were sitting at 2, though. Yeah, you'd probably be foolish not to take that. Dave Gettleman just doesn't.
I know.
It's
Max
Dave
not gonna do it. I know they're not going to do it, but it would be exciting to see if the Bears traded their first round of this year, third round of this year, and another first round of next year. They have to give up something else because they're jumping up 9 spots. They may have to give like a 5th round or something this year too to get up there. And that's where I would take Azeez Ojulari if he's there, if none of the other players we're talking about is there at 20, Benny. But at 11, no. Yep. I cannot take Ojulari at 11. I can't do it.
Yeah, he's a bit of a reach at 11. He's more of a run-stopping. Like, his pass rush is not that great, honestly.
I believe you could get the same amount of player with Jason Oweh in the second round from Penn State. I believe they're the same type dude.
Jason Oweh in the second round.
You think he makes it to the second?
Yeah, I still think he makes it.
The 11th pick in the second?
Raw. Yeah. I don't know if he makes it to the 11th pick, but I'll say if he's there, he's too raw, man. He's like way too raw right now to be to come in and Oweh from Penn State. He has to sit. He has to sit and learn for a year.
What? Go Parsons round 1, Oweh round 2. Get 2 Penn State guys in here.
I wouldn't be surprised. Joe Judge guys, he likes them a lot.
That would be scary, bro. Reunite them in New York.
I got a I got a question for you guys. Who's this year's Xavier McKinney? Somebody that's high first goes to the second.
Oh,
Aziz Ojolari. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
he's not going out of the first round. I mean,
Uh,
Jalen Phillips, right?
Zaylen
You'd be
Collins.
surprised, Viz.
Zaylen
Zay.
Collins.
Yeah.
What's the boy from Tulsa, the linebacker that was the best defensive player in the country? Collins.
Yeah, Zayvon Collins.
Zayvon Collins. I
Yep.
can see him falling to the second round.
Mm,
Pat Fryermuth is actually falling to the second round.
yeah.
I mean, everybody kind of always had Pat at the end of the first, early second, I think.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think
Yeah.
he was ever considered even a mid first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then
so if
I'll
he goes
go
to the
there.
second, I don't necessarily consider that a falling to the second. For someone to fall to the second, in my opinion, they have to be at least considered like a mid first rounder to begin with.
and here's a name that might surprise people the second round too. Rondell Moore. They have him falling to the second round.
He could.
What about Tamar Terry, that dude from Florida State?
Oh, he's
I
not
believe
going
he
to
go-
at
I
least
be-
third round, probably.
At
He's-
the very
I like to
earliest
get him
third
a
round. At the very earliest, the third round. I believe he's raw as well, but I promise you, if he puts it together, he's gonna be a force in this league coming on. That dude's an absolute monster. 6'5", running a 4.2. That's crazy.
Well, keep in mind all these 40 times are not
I don't think he could
official.
create separation.
Yeah, I kind of see that too, because that defensive end running a 4.36. That's crazy.
Or
and then
Justin Fields.
Yeah, running a 4.41. I said, where was that on the field? I saw 4.8, 4.9. That's what I saw. He's not that fast to me, but okay. I don't know where that came from. Somebody started to watch extremely late on purpose. But I do see the Giants going offensive line heavy in this draft. I'll say at least 2 picks offensive line to replace Solder, and I just believe Will Hernandez is gone, man. Something happened, man, because he lost favor real fast. Like even after he came back from COVID, I think.
Well, I already told you what my opinion on that was.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't think it was that he fell out of favor. I think it was that they wanted to see what Lemieux had at that point in the season.
That's true too. We'll see what Will Hernandez does. If he comes and has a great season, hey, that's even better for us. I still don't think we pay him, but that's even better for him. But yeah, I think heavy offensive line. I think we're gonna have a boring draft. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't see us making some huge splash. Although I do believe if Waddle was there at 11, if Slater is not there, I truly believe they're gonna take that guy, man.
Nah,
It's just I don't know, man. It's just something about them Bama dudes, man. You know that's what Joe Judge is from, man. And with Sterling Shepard's contract in the air next year, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But it may be a little bit of overkill. But that offensive line has to be addressed in this draft coming up. That's the only we must do in the draft coming up, whether it's the second or third round or the first round.
You know, a team in the top 10 is going to reach for somebody. It happens every year.
Oh yeah.
So
like the Raiders and Cleveland.
Oh, the Raiders do it all the time.
Yeah. So what team in the top 10 could you see reaching for somebody that you're like, well, my God, he's a 20th, 21st pick.
The
in
Broncos.
The top 10.
The Broncos, they're in the position to do it. The Panthers are in the position to do it. I think they still go quarterback though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Broncos, I think the Broncos will be the only surprise that will actually.
Or Lions, possible Lions.
I think the Lions either go quarterback or receiver or Pitts.
Well, they're not taking a quarterback. They got Goff.
Yeah.
So who's going to drop in the first round that that those teams are going to reach for and grab that guy at the bottom?
Hopefully, Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, exactly. But let's say Chase does fall. We don't know what the future holds, so why can't we ask that question?
Who's JOK? Thoughts on JOK?
Oh,
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah.
Hell no. That dude, he's Max's size. No, he's not gonna. No, we already have a player like we got Jabril Peppers out there. That dude's no bigger than Jabril Pep. No, I'm sorry. No, I can't take him, Nate.
There'll be
Hell
no
no.
safeties in the 11 or anybody like that.
That's
We
what he
don't
should be
need-
playing as safety, but they got him as an
safety
edge.
is the one need we don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Safety is the need.
I feel like we got a
we got
top
three
10
safeties.
safeties duo.
I believe we could have 3 top 10 safeties next year.
Yeah. Overloaded with safeties.
No, we got we're top at least top 10 best safeties in the NFL.
Man, look, we got probably the best safety duo in the league, man.
Yeah, we do got the
Let's be
best
real
safety
with you.
duo, to be honest. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like that's the thing. With the Logan Ryan re-signing for 3 years, we just drafted McKinney, so now we have 3 great safeties. And what are we gonna do with them? Start switching them in and out?
Right.
Whoa. We got my co-host in the building. What's going on, Tim? Online Big Blue. I will
What's
be on his
going
channel
on?
tomorrow.
Thought I would jump in real quick and see what was going on with everyone, see what everybody's doing today. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Sunday, and I assume everybody's talking Giants.
Of course, Tim.
No,
you
we're
know it.
talking Cowboys today.
You know what?
Right?
Screw you. Go someplace else. Yeah, I got your invite, and I got your invite late. So I thought I would jump on for a few minutes. I think everyone knows. I think Big Pat's going to be on my channel mañana doing his show or our weekly show together. So I hope everyone can drop by. I don't know everyone on here, but how is everybody doing?
Cool.
Good.
I don't know if you know
Tim?
Joe already, but he's the beard. He always finds ways to get his point across no matter what you think. We got Max, the most professional background in the business. Then we got Zeke and Viz. You know, they're regulars on the show.
Oh,
they're always
I know those filmmakers. That's I know them. But like I said, hope everyone can jump. What time is it going to be tomorrow, Pat? I forget.
It's always at 8 unless you have something going on at 8.
Well, is that 8 your time, or is that going to be 8 Eastern Standard Time?
It's going to be 8 my time, so it'll be 9 Eastern.
9 o'clock. So it'll be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard on my end. So no, I'm still good with that. I'm still down with that. What is it? I'm going to ask a question because you know what? I only have a couple minutes, but and I'm sorry I jumped in this late and it was probably answered already. These moves in free agency, outside, and I'm going to say this, outside of the big two. And I know we just signed the big offensive tackle who, according to the Texans, can't pass block. What does everybody think about what we did outside of Leonard Williams, Kenny Galladay, and of course our old buddy Jackson and everyone else? What was the thought process if we did nothing else? How would we have ranked this free agency class?
If we did nothing else but sign Galladay, Adoree Jackson,
no. If we didn't get outside of Adoree, Kenny Galladay, and Leonard Williams, what does everyone think of the draft? The free agent class.
The best signing would have been Rudolph, which is for red zone purposes and inside purposes, as far as doing the little dig route that Jason Garrett loves to run. I believe he fits that perfectly. With Booker, I believe he's the best backup we could have got with the money that we paid.
Marlon Mack went for under $2 million almost.
For Marlon Mack went for under $2 million.
Yeah. He says
Marlon Mack's also coming off the ACL, so
he's coming off the ACL, but so is Saquon Barkley.
So but
did
Booker,
you want an ACL tear backing up a person coming off an ACL tear? You know what I mean?
Tears. When I had an ACL tear back in the 90s, it was catastrophic. I mean, it took you a year to 2 years to get back on the field. I got back on the field in 12 months, and then I retore it at the end of spring practice.
Wow.
So, but the ACL now, you tear it now. I have friends that are actually a couple of them are former and still current MAA fighters. I know one guy tore his ACL. He was back better than new in 8 months. So I'm not as concerned anymore about that.
Yeah, the technology now is absolutely ridiculous.
That means that
What's
Saquon
the
will be
other
really good
signing?
next
We
year.
I believe the guard that we signed was for depth, just in case Lemieux doesn't show up. I believe we can plug him there and just hope for the best. The Nate Solder signing, which is not a free agent sign, but I believe the Nate Solder sign was the most important, and we got his cap number down to $3 million. So he took a huge pay cut to
Yeah,
come
but we
back.
would have saved the same amount of money if we cut him.
No, we saved more.
Oh, we saved
Yeah,
way
we
more. He would have been a
saved
10
more.
million. He would have been a $10 million cap hit.
Yeah,
That's right. That is
we
correct.
took his cap hit down from 10 million all the way down to 3 million.
That's good. I still don't think he can play.
Hey, he's just another body out there. If he plays the Cam Fleming role now, if we need him to go out there, hopefully we don't. But if we need him to go out there, at least he has experience. The John Ross signing, I believe he's there to prove that he can take the top off the defense and stay healthy. If he does not stay healthy, he is cut before the season. I promise you. His contract is only $1.2 million. They will cut him. I promise you they will, because he's brought there. I don't believe they brought him there to be a major piece. I believe they brought him there because he's a weapon. And that's exactly what the Giants wanted to do this offseason, is bring weapons there, and you can use him and however you want to use him. He scares defenses. You have to pay attention to him. So he's more of a decoy, I believe. But if you decide to put a linebacker on him while he's doing a deep post or going deep, you will pay the price. That's why I believe they brought him here. But if we didn't sign Galladay or Dory Jackson and re-sign Leo, I believe this offseason would have been terrible.
I'll disagree
truly
with
believe
you.
so. I truly, because we didn't help Daniel Jones. If we don't bring in those pieces, Daniel Jones still doesn't have any help. So now you're just depending on Saquon Barkley again.
We needed that depth and competition at those positions desperately. That's why I was against Leo paying him the $19 million, $20 million a year, having a big contract for him. If we don't have those depth pieces, injuries happen. They're a concern. So I would give the free agency a good B+ right now, only because it was such a mess. We didn't have. We just said not that long ago, from 2012 to 2017, we have no first or second round picks on this team outside of Ingram. We don't have our continuity. We don't have our leadership. That's all gone. It's starting over right now. So if you don't have competition, if you don't have solid backups, look at Mahomes. Look what happened to him without backups. Really,
he lost his whole offensive line.
Exactly. But you know what? If they had competent backups or guys that had been there for a year or two that could learn the blocking schemes and get better with better coaches, all that stuff just comes around full circle. When you don't pay attention to the little things, those are what bites you in the butt.
That's true, but he said if we didn't sign Galladay, Adoree Jackson, and brought back Leo, Galladay is the only reason why we can pick up a Ross and nobody's complaining, because we have a number one receiver now. But if we just if we didn't get Galladay and we just got Ross, do you know what people will be saying?
No, they'd be saying we know the pick at number 11. That's what they'd be saying, because before Galladay's signing, it was all about wide receiver at 11. That's what would have been the move if Galladay didn't come.
So what if Smith, Waddle, and Chase was gone, and then everybody?
No,
I still like Bateman.
There's no way.
Yeah, they're saying 5 quarterbacks are coming off the board in the top 10.
Hell
we like that as Giants fans.
I don't even
like that.
So that means Fields, Lance, Wilson, Lawrence, and Mac Jones is gone.
You know what? It's Smith.
Hell no, that ain't happening.
No.
All right, it's Smith, Waddle,
4 for sure. 4 for sure.
Yeah.
With,
maybe not
San
Trey
Francisco
Lance,
going up there. But I'm not complaining about the other people that we signed. I believe those were great signings. Every last thing that we did this offseason was great. It's just that we didn't get Kenny Galladay, it would be a little bit more sketchy because we still wouldn't have a number one receiver.
So if Chase
and the
and
number
Smith
one
and
draft
Waddle-
pick is not proven in this league, like how Kenny Galladay has proven when healthy, he's a number one receiver.
Well,
That's
the
what Daniel Jones
problem
needs.
is also a number one receiver via free agency is not a guarantee either. Especially a guy coming off a hip and a guy Kenny's got a little bit of a sketchy pass in some ways in Detroit because of the fact that A, they thought he could come back. B, he had a media blackout at one point in time, and then kind of did a little bit of a snarky Twitter post when he re-released his media blackout, which that's not going to fly in New York. I mean, you may cut the mustard with that in Detroit, but you try to black out the New York media. I think we've seen what happens to players.
Well, Tim, I think that's what the 3 days was about, right?
Yeah,
they wanted to get to know Kenny, and I think Kenny wanted to get to know them, right? So ultimately, at this point, I trust Joe Judge. I trust Dave Gettleman, as harsh as that might sound to some people, to make the right decisions for this team moving forward, at least into the 2021 season.
Well, 2020, everyone's so focused on the 2021 season. I think I'm the only Giant fan that's worried about 2022 because of the fact that I've seen it firsthand in Tampa when you push all your chips to the middle of the table. They were lucky to win the Super Bowl in the early 2000s, but then they went into cap purgatory for 2 years, 7-9, 5-11. John Gruden almost got fired. And
well, right now we don't have
it turn it around, but Giants have been so bad for going on, closing in on 10 years that we can't have one good season like in 16 and then kind of just revert back to what we were because of the fact that we're negative $2 million in cap space with 38 players signed. And hopefully the cap will go over 209, but I'm hearing it's not going to go much over 209.
Hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, we get a lot. I think we get $14 million back if we release Soder next year.
Oh yeah, there's way to make money.
Shepard's another one,
and then Shepard's we get $8 million from Shepard, and then
we'll make
a couple other things they can do. They'll make it work. I know they're going to get $3 million back from Dixon next year because they're going to release him. They're not going to pay him $3.5 million next year. And then with the players that we sign, I don't think we have to go back in free agency to get anything.
But the players we signed, their big hit is next year. After that, we can cut them and save a lot of money.
That's true. But like I said, I'm not. Like I said, my concern is the fact that you're going to take a huge dip in 2022, and there's $100 million in cap space available in 2023 right now. If you project out the numbers, but the problem is all the big money. All Gettleman is doing is taking those bonuses, giving them less in salary, and pushing the bonuses out through the term of the contract.
He's doing what the Eagles did.
Yeah, and what? Oh, really? What happened to the Eagles? I don't recall.
Yeah, but they continued. They did this for years and years and
exactly.
years.
Exactly.
I think they did it for this year because they wanted to make
it a million times. At one point in time, the bill will come due.
Well, they were 5-year contracts for the Eagles. Though Judge is doing it smart.
Yeah, they did. On a contract that was big like that was Galladay's, and even his contract is out after 2 years.
Right. Yeah. After 2023.
So they were kind of smart about how
the end of the 2023 season, Galladay can be lost for $8 million or something like that.
Yes. But that's where I said this is Judge's most important draft. He got his team together last year, saw what he had. He's bringing in the guys just like Belichick did in New England. He went out and he got his free agents. Now he's seeing what he has to fill. And this is going to determine what we do moving forward in 2022, in 2023. So am I worried? Yes. But I'm looking at the cap situation. They didn't spend $200 million this year. They got 5 more guys for $70 million less than what they did in 2016.
Well, yeah, but you can't compare 2016 to now. You can compare it as in a circumstance of how they tried to buy themselves a playoff victory, but you can't compare the player sign and the amount of money because Gettleman gave the third most amount of money in free agency this year.
Right.
So like I said, I can never compare. I never compare back to teams. I compare back to the circumstance, and the circumstances. You could buy a win. You could buy a winning season, but one day. You got to pay that. It's like I've always said, you can keep taking out credit cards and pushing that debt out, but one day that debt's going to come due.
Yeah, that's for teams like how the Eagles did it, the Cowboys in one
longer situations,
the Saints. They keep doing that year after year after year after year. This is 1 year we've done that. I believe they go to the draft the rest of the time that they're
I hope.
Galladay and them are here.
Hope.
I don't believe they
Tim,
go for big free agents every year like this. I just don't believe they do that.
Right, and Tim, worst case scenario, right? We do well this year. Next year, we're in cap hell. We have to release a bunch of players. Dave Gettleman's gone. Probably Jason Garrett's gone either way, just my opinion. If it's a good year, bad year, Jason Garrett's gone next year. Joe Judge stays here. We probably have our next GM in the house, but because it was a bad year, right, moving into next, they just restart, right, with Joe Judge as the head of the next regime.
Yeah, well, I agree, but the problem with that is you keep restarting. You restart after Jerry Reese. You restart after Bob McAdoo. You restart after Ben McAdoo. I always call him Bob McAdoo. You're restarting after McAdoo. You're restarting after Shermer. I mean, there's just so much. And like I said, I've been a Giant fan since '76. So there's just so many times. And I saw how bad the '70s were, and they restarted 3 times before they found Ray Perkins and went to the playoffs. So, the fan base I don't want to see another run of the '70s, which is kind of what we're in right now.
I guess we're pretty much there right now.
So if we keep doing that over and over again, restarting, we're gonna, and I've said it on my channel, we're gonna be the Knicks. And who the hell wants to be the Knicks?
I think the big reason for that this year was to find out who Daniel Jones is, right? It's not because they didn't sign all these people because they want to win a Super Bowl this year. Would that be nice? Absolutely. But they want to know going to next season who they have at quarterback.
I don't think it's going to be Daniel Jones. I think everybody knows that.
Do you see Judge doing this again in a free agency? I don't.
No.
I don't think. I think this is a one-time deal. I think
this is a one-time deal. They got the people that feel that goes with this system.
Yes,
that's why they gave them the 3-year contracts. If it doesn't work out, they get out after deal.
2. Injuries, lack of consistent play, lack of playing, having the ability to play at all, or just poor play in general. You know what? I've said it a million times. Everyone has the best laid plan until you get punched in the face.
Well, let me ask you this, Tim.
All goes out the window.
Let me ask you this, Tim, because you came in here and asked us this question. But what's your opinion on this free agency? Because so far you don't seem too high on it, even with the big.
I think, and I've said it on my channel before, outside of the big signings, if this was the Eagles, let's say if it was the Eagles, or if this was the Cowboys free agency, we all would laugh at them. We would all say it was a collapse. It was a terrible free agency. So if you minus the big signings, it to me it would have been a joke. You got Rudolph. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's 30-something years old, 31 years old. He's not the inline blocker that he used to be. Yeah, he is a red zone presence, but his catches have gone down incrementally each season. He's also coming off injuries. John Ross got hurt at the combine. I mean, we signed a cat. We signed that. The scouting report of the Texans was he can't pass block. I mean, I like Ragland, but he's not the player he was in KC his second year. He's a good run stuffer. We signed the kid out of Minnesota, but he's got the same amount of sacks over 2 years that Dalvin Tomlinson has, and he has an issue playing the run as well. And everyone said, well, Minnesota was so high on him. If you're so high on a pass rusher that's young and you think it has talent, you're not going to release him. So, I mean, to me, like I said, if outside of the big signings, and like I said, if we thought the Eagles did this or the Cowboys or the Washington football team, we would all say they had a bad free agency.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I said. They would have said it was a failure if we didn't get Kenny Galladay, Adoree Jackson, and Kep Williams. They would have said it was a failure. I promise you they would have.
And we also have to continue and worry that is Leonard Williams going to revert back to 3.5, 5.5 sack Leonard? I mean, you give a guy a big payday, and you have one good season out of 6. And I know we had another Pro Bowl season, but that was his big season. That was his show me season. So, yeah. But
the only thing I got to say about that though, it's not like Leonard Williams was an absolute bum before he got these 11.5 sacks.
No,
he had the most pressures on the quarterback.
I've said this a million times, and I've said this from people that work in the NFL. Pressure means nothing for NFL statistics. It's pressures equals results. unless you know what the results are of the pressures. The NFL people in the NFL rooms, defensive rooms, do not look at the fact that how many pressures they have. They look at how many quarterbacks hits he had, and then you have to have pressures equate something, because there are quarterbacks out there that thrive under pressure. So you may have a quarterback that you pressure, and he may complete 11 out of 12 for 2 touchdowns and and how many yards. So like I said, the pressure stat is more of a beat writer stat and a fan stat than more that it is of actual an NFL stat.
I get what Tim's saying, and the saying is true. When you're in a free agent market, you're paying A money for B talent, and that's never going to change. But
it's really not going to change.
I don't see Rudolph getting more than 50% of the snaps.
Yeah,
I don't see. So I don't think his injury is going to be history is that concerned in his age. I think they're going to try to keep him fresh. John Ross is going to be a situational player. He's not there to do anything but be a decoy. And if he does get open, that's going to be under Garrett's scheme. What they can do, how they can work it, if that changes at all this year. So when I said I don't see Judge doing it again, and yeah, I'm not a fan of them buying it either, but we just didn't have anything on this team really. I mean, look at all the games we were in and we lost in the last minute or two. There was just so much confusion and talent missing in so many places that something had to happen. Mm-hmm. If we had went and they did nothing on this free agency except sign Galladay, I think Giants fans would still be upset because we're looking at an O-line that's incomplete. We don't have anybody for Barkley. We're looking at a defense, okay, but we're missing a key piece now. So instead of being able to choose best player available in the draft today, we still would have been stuck at kind of knowing what they were looking at, whether it be tackle, wide receiver, edge. It would be a lot easier to guess. Right now, it's going to be a little easier to decipher for Judge. It's like, I'm holding the cards now. Teams can come to me. That's why I know everybody disagrees with me because Gettleman doesn't trade down. But there's been times Gettleman did want to trade down but couldn't. If McKinney wasn't on the board last year, the Bears had or not, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was the Bears had a deal in place to give us picks for the second pick. So it does happen. It's just that we don't know about it.
I mean, this free agency, it just gave us a lot of flexibility. That's what it did. It gave us a lot of flexibility. Oh, we got the Miz back. Oh, wait a minute. I got to. Hey, Zeke.
No worries. Yeah. I'll go ahead and dip out. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, man.
I gotta, you can stay. I gotta jump out too because I just wanted to jump on for a minute and just bug everybody and just tomorrow.
You got your podcast coming up, right, Tim?
That's right.
Tell everybody what the podcast is.
Oh yeah, we have the new podcast which we just launched a couple weeks ago. It is NFL Talk from across the pond and back. It is with the gentleman from the UK, and we talk sports, we talk the football, we talk American football, we talk everything from there. It can be found on.
Are they also Giants fans?
Actually, he is a Giant fan. Perfect. He is a Giant fan. He's been on my channel a couple times. He was just on Sunday today. So, like I said, if you want to go find it, it's NFL Talk from across the pond and back. We did our second show today, and like I said, it was a lot of fun. And Big Pat, I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. your time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
Later,
everyone have a good night.
You too.
You too.
All right. I didn't know I was on here for 2.5 hours. It always happens. I don't know why it always happens. I guess I'm just having fun. I'm gonna be on for a couple of more minutes. I'm gonna get some last thoughts from you guys. Did not know I was on here that long, but we're gonna start with the beard, man. The old wise one. What you got for us?
Oh, I gotta start my camera for that. Listen, guys, enjoy this free agency. We're seeing this team go places. We see the progress. We see the hope. All of us Giants fans, just stop with the what ifs. let's wait and see what happens. Then we'll make a decision. We can't worry about what if because we're just going to keep getting ourselves upset, and then that translates to everything else.
Right.
Just smile, have fun, come into the chats, joke around, argue. Heck, I don't care. But,
Argue.
you know, that's what we're for. You know, we're here to argue.
All right, we're gonna go to Zeke. What's going on, Zeke?
Me saying that, enjoy the free agency, of course. We're gonna be in the playoffs this season. I guarantee you this. And hopefully we get Slater at 11 or Micah Parsons.
All right, Viz, you there?
Yeah.
What you got for us, man?
I don't really got nothing much to say, but I'm looking forward to the draft. Looking forward to taking Micah Parsons at 11, generational linebacker,
Right?
coming right to us.
And Max, what you got, bro?
Listen, man, thanks for having me on. It's always a good time. Enjoy talking to you, giving my opinion here and all yours. I'll be back this Wednesday with another podcast episode, so go ahead and check that out on my channel, Mic'd Up with Max Webster. I see Svi popped up in here. Looking forward to hear what he's got to say.
No, he brings the energy no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
I think he got himself muted, but he doesn't know.
He does.
He has himself muted, but he doesn't know. Hey, if
He's
you watch it,
muted right
Miz, you're muted. But I'm gonna give my final thoughts, man.
There he goes. He's on mute.
There you go. Hey, man, give me some final thoughts before I give my final thoughts.
Hey, I gotta hop
I
off.
wanted to get
night.
at Tim like I always do. but I guess
Tim has to go do his podcast.
Yeah.
And I'll get ready to wrap it up because I've been on here 2.5 hours. I didn't know that, but
I know. I tried to catch up. I tried to catch Tim, but hey, listen, just looking forward to more of these. We're getting closer to the draft, so that's a big night.
Oh, Miz, I gotta have you on my live draft. If you're available with my live draft coverage, when the draft happens, I gotta have you on there. I gotta have your energy on there,
have
bro.
a lot of people over, but I'll put you on.
Okay. I got you.
I usually host the draft night for everybody. So
okay, I can see that happening. Well, if you got time to sneak off for a couple of seconds after the first pick, let me know.
I got one thing for you guys. How small is the chance that Penny Sue drops anywhere near us?
A negative 255% chance he falls to number 11. Unless some allegations come out, then he might fall.
So start it up, make up something.
Hey,
let's do it.
They did it to Warren Sapp.
He's a lock to go to Cincinnati. He doesn't get past 5.
I don't think he goes past 5. But guys, my final thoughts, man, is like Joe said, let's enjoy what our Giants are doing right now. Let's feel proud about our team right now. We need to come together. We need to stop the what ifs, because you can say what if to anything. You can say what if to any draft pick. You can say what if to any GM coming in. You can say what if to any coach coming in. What if the owner did this? What if? You can say that about anything. Let's enjoy what happened. We got a number 1 receiver. I don't care he's coming off an injury. That's why he was there three days. Nobody else did a 3-day tour with any other team. They took him a physical. They checked out his past. They checked out what he wanted to bring to this organization. They let him speak with Daniel Jones, and he spoke with Joe Judge personally for hours.
Yes.
So everything that he needed to pass to be on the New York Giants, he did. Because I promise you, if he failed a physical, or if he said anything wrong about not being a team player or anything to Joe Judge, we would not be celebrating Kenny G here right now. Let's celebrate that people actually want to come to New York to play because of Joe Judge changing the culture. Let's celebrate that. Things are changing here in New York. We're getting back to winning football, folks, if you believe it or not. I told Joel earlier about the parallels between when Eli Manning first got here and when Daniel Jones got here. All Daniel Jones has to do is put it together, and I believe he's the quarterback of the future of this team. I really do believe so. I believe that guy's going to get us one. Reason why is because he's a winner. He loves to win, and he's a smart guy, and he loves this team. We just got to put the right pieces around them, which we have done this year for the most part. Let's get this offensive line fixed. Let's protect the man. And you're going to see the good decision making by this dude because he has great decision making. It's just that his pocket presence is so low is because at Duke, he had to do everything.
Yeah.
And so he's not used to having a pocket. So he's always playing like he doesn't have a pocket. And he's trying to stand there and make a play because he has nobody to go to. And he knows if the offense gets off the field, we might not get back in the red zone for the rest of this game. Who knows?
Right.
So I have to make a play. I got to make a play for my team. I got to do this for my team, the team. Not knowing that he's really kind of hurting the team because he's taking bad plays, getting sacked when he should just dump it off to Saquon or somebody like that and just take what we can get. Some games, some defense is just going to be on. There's nothing you can really do about it but take what they give you. Let's get him to learn that, and we'll be okay because our defense is just as stingy. I promise you it is. So let's celebrate what the Giants are doing right now. Let's keep this positive vibes going. No negative vibes for the season coming up. And let's stay strong as a Giants community, man. Go sub up to Max Webster's channel. Very great channel. Hopefully I could be on there soon. I know he's kind of booked, but I can be on there soon enough. We got the beard in the building. You know he's always going to give us something.
Yup.
Viz, I believe you got your highlight videos as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, check out Viz Edits.
Video.
Yeah, check out Viz Edits videos. He does very good videos. I knew Viz before he even came on the channel, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But let's just keep it positive, man. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it moving forward. And I can't wait to the draft, man. Hopefully all you guys can pop in and out. And we can have a great time on the draft no matter who we pick, unless we pick somebody just absolutely terrible. Like a safety or something.
Gregory Rousseau at 11.
Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that. A lot of people would be mad, but
I'm not
Rousseau
getting
at
mad.
11, I mean, that's basically you telling me that you have a plan in place for Rousseau. That's basically what you're telling me.
Well,
I wouldn't do it unless it was in the second round. But hey, if Patrick Graham wants Rousseau that high, and you know him and Joe Judge have a great relationship, they're gonna say, okay, if we give you Rousseau, you better get him up to speed because this is your pick.
Oh, and then Diggy said he's waiting until the 4th.
Yeah. I truly believe when we take Rousseau, that's a Patrick Graham pick. He wanted the guy, he wanted them there, and it was like, okay, we had the flexibility to do this. Him and Joe Judge agreed, give him his pick, but you better make sure he does something because if not, that's your ass. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I'd like to thank you guys for coming in. That
Thank
was
you.
Big Pat's final thoughts on Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you guys for talking your talk with me. And I'll be live tomorrow on Online Big Blue, man. True Big Blue podcast with Tim, Online Big Blue, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You guys tune in. Great show. And I'll be live with them, man. Let's get it. And until then, we're going to end the broadcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. 2.5 hours, man. I got man, it just
deep
flying
rabbit
by.
hole.
All right, you guys have a good one, man.
Appreciate you having me on.